Welcome to Florida's only cannabis radio program. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio.
Yo, yo. You know, rally round the flag, rally round the now. Iron. Don't want. Live. One. Rally round. Rally. How can we sing? Don't. Live. One God. One dead. Africa, Landy, the high. Come rally. Come rally. Hot mic.
Nobody covers cannabis news like Cannabis Life Radio. Nobody.
Cannabis Life Radio is live. We are on the air from the Southeast Cannabis Conference and Expo. See,
You got it right.
I'm screwing it up. It's unbelievable.
Leon.
I'm impressed.
I'm here with Arby Barroso, Cheryl Murray Powell, and a special guest, Gary Stein. We have tons of people around. There's vendors.
There's pressure today on you.
Hi, everybody.
We got a lot of pressure on
I know.
you today.
There's people looking at me, too. I'm not.
We have a live in-studio audience here at the
Yes.
SECC conference. We've been here all weekend, and we wanted to share some of this with our viewers and our listeners. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Tell us some stories. What's going on?
There's a lot of stories.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff
look,
going
look,
on.
Look,
There's a lot of people
around.
excited because we had the
amazing.
law passed the other day.
We did.
Yeah.
We
We have
did.
some problems with it.
Well, I mean, I think they finally
Look at
eliminated.
Gary's laughing.
They finally eliminated. well, Gary has. I mean, I'm pretty sure Gary's going to have a serious opinion on this.
Yes.
But at least they took the 90-day out.
Right, that's gone.
Yes.
That's gone. So
Right.
that really helps out with the people that really need the medicine right away.
Right.
And
They won't have to wait the 90 days.
Exactly.
They won't have to take the opiates or whatever their doctors are giving them for 90
it's
days.
one step at a time.
Right.
I mean, coming from Colorado and seeing what happened in Colorado and the legislation and how things changed when we first got there
Right.
to where it is today.
A successful
I mean,
program.
It's been it's been a long time.
Right.
You know,
About 10 years trying to get
so
it to...
now we just can't be quiet about it. We got to continue to push. Gary will elaborate more on that, but we need to continue to push forward to make sure that the people are heard,
Right.
and that we have the best access, and that we do have smokables,
Right.
because that's one of the things that they did not put on there.
Right.
It needs to be vaped, and I
Yes.
think you should be able to choose how you medicate.
how you want to take your cannabis. And I have a question for you.
Yes, absolutely,
Cheryl
Mr.
Murray
Leon.
So what exactly happens now? Do the people that are trying to get their card, and the people that have waited to see if the 90-day period was going to be taken off, do they wait until the governor signs it, or is it automatically in effect now?
It is not in effect until the governor signs
Okay,
it.
so we got to wait. You would tell people, you would advise them to wait to go see the doctor until after the governor signs it?
I mean, they don't have to wait. Either they're going to still be in the 90-day period if he does not sign it, or if he vetoes it, or
still gonna go
So
through.
might as well, if you're planning to see the doctor, just go see
Just
the
go
doc.
see the doctor, and then
you're not going to harm yourself by going to see the doctor.
You still won't have to go through the 90-day period if you do it before the governor signs the bill, is what I'm trying to say.
No. You'll still have a 90-day period until it's signed into law.
So
but once signed, then it becomes law, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
And also, there's some other components of it. I know a lot of patients aren't really happy with some of the outcomes, but I do think we need to celebrate the small successes, such as the 90-day rule of elimination.
Yeah.
In addition, I like all the restrictions on the dispensaries that they put in. I like the fact that they're capping at 25. I like the fact that they can't sell off their interest in after they won the license based on a certain narrative, then they sell it off to whoever they want to. I like the fact that there are restrictions there.
Right. But aren't they?
I didn't say that.
But aren't they? If the slots are still available, 25 slots per grower are still available. If one of the other growers wants to buy it, they can purchase it from another grower. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, they just did that. A Canadian company came in and paid, $60 million for 37%, right, Gary? I think it was 41%. 41%?
Yeah.
Of Chestnut Hill. So these are the things that need to be eliminated. And one of my biggest problems is that, if we're Floridians,
Right.
Floridians should stay with Floridian money.
Exactly.
They should be a resident implementation where if you're going to grow, you're going to do anything, you should be a 2-year resident. Colorado has it.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we have that?
Right.
That should be implemented. And these are the steps that are going to continue to move forward. And I think a lot of things are going to change as everything evolves,
Right.
I would say.
And I think the residency piece is addressed with the requirement of them being 5 years with the Secretary of State. So that in itself is a residency. Reciprocity is not addressed, which is a huge opportunity as far as snowbirds and people who live here at certain times of the year. So
that's key.
Yes, but again, independent testing labs have been addressed, and there's a mandate that something be set up, and independent testing labs can start getting that business now until there's a deadline set in 2018 where they'll officially be certified. So that's another victory in this bill.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you see? Do you see this madness?
Yeah, there's a lot of people here, especially at this Green Roads booth.
It's been a
That's
beautiful.
all I gotta say.
It's been a beautiful week. I mean, we had our launch party on Friday, which was absolutely amazing. We had a great great turnout at the Clevelander. We were at Marlins Park. We had, a lot of doctors there. We had Cheryl representing us there. We had Dr. Albert there. The documentary was aired, it was absolutely amazing time.
Cool.
I had a little bit too much to drink, which is probably the first time I've had that happen to me. And
is there such a thing as too much? I don't know.
I agree with that point. But
when you're celebrating, what were you celebrating? It depends.
We're celebrating 3 years of Green Roads really being out there and dominance and having over 50 employees. It was a very proud moment for all of us because this really is a group effort.
Yeah.
And the education is a group effort, and bringing on really good people that really care about, besides the product itself, but at the same time care about what the end user is really taking at the end. And
it's all about helping people. And that's why you guys are doing so well.
Yeah, and we're trying to implement that actually now here in Florida. There is a bill that passed, the SB 1726, that's on the governor's desk right now for hemp. And that's really what we're pushing forward on. We're not really too much on the medical marijuana side. I mean, there's a lot of big players on that side that I think, we can't compete.
No.
Absolutely can't compete. So we looked at, the cousin of medical marijuana. We looked at the hemp where we could actually cross genetics and build different types of strains that could access for clothing, for hempcrete, for a plethora of products that are out there, and make it eco-friendly, which I think that's where humanity's going. We want things that are eco-friendly.
Yeah, and that's the direction we have to be going in.
Absolutely. I know all eyes are on the medical marijuana bill, but I just want to reemphasize what Arby said as far as the hemp. This hemp bill really needs to be signed by the governor because there's a lot of economic growth that will come as a result. So I know we've been a little distracted, and I'm all about the medical marijuana space, but let's not miss out. We're seeing South Carolina passing a bill, Illinois passing a bill, giving it to farmers.
Nevada.
So going beyond
Nevada
the educational.
Had one that just basically gave the bird to the federal government.
That's Nevada. Yeah. So going beyond the traditional, through an academic institution.
Yeah.
This is history-making legislation that's happening across the country.
Exactly.
Going beyond just giving it to academic institutions, but handing it off to the farmers for them to take part in the industry. So this is really huge. So we need the same advocacy we had around medical marijuana. We want to see that around strongly encouraging any influencers out there with the governor, really encouraging him to sign that bill into law so we can create some
drive down there. I say we drive down there and put a pen in his hand.
I'm down for a road trip.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Where are we going?
I'm riding shotgun. You're in the back seat, Leon. Sorry.
Where are we going?
We're going to go to Tallahassee and have Rick Scott sign on the bill.
I spent a week in Tallahassee one night. It wasn't pretty.
You spent a week.
Many things
you spent a week in Tallahassee one night? No, that's impossible.
Trust me, it's possible.
Oh my God.
So let's bring in Gary. Gary, what do you think? I mean, obviously, how do you feel about first what passed? I know that you're a huge advocate. You're very involved in this industry. What do you feel about what happened on the bill, and where do you think we can make it better?
Well, I apologize for laughing at you when you said problems. It's just that I had an understatement attack, and it just kind of hit me all at once. The whole point is that we went straight from into the fog and into the smog. Yeah, that's exactly where we are. We were once in this fog where we're in between the Charlotte's Web rules and the Amendment 2 rules, and people didn't know what was going on, what was legal, what was not legal. Yeah. Instead, now we got the smog, which is basically a polluted bill.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Now, why do you think it's polluted? I mean, we read it, but as the listeners that are out there and the 1,000 people that follow us and stuff, why do you think what's so polluted on the bill, and what do we need to have on the radio and consistently put out there to help people speak to representatives, because they hate getting phone calls. We all know that.
We all know that.
So what can we continue to push forward to make the smog a clear, sunny Florida day?
I should say, because
nice analogy,
Cheryl did point them out, there are some good things on the bill, and we need to applaud those. And those came through from some of our white hats in the legislature, like Jeff Brandes, the Republican.
Absolutely.
Jeff Clemens over here.
Nice.
On this side, and of course, Carlos Guillermo Smith out of Orlando, and Al Jaquette over here. Mm-hmm. They all worked very, very hard for the good pieces, and they got through. But the rest of the folks, they did a lot of horse trading behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Typically happens in Florida.
Trying to hook up their friends.
Exactly. And so what happened was what could have been an an excellent bill got thwarted by lobbyists working behind the scenes, special interests behind the scenes, money being given to people as a political favor to actually get things into the bill. Money is not supposed to drive policy.
Correct.
Patients and people are supposed to drive policy, but that wasn't what happened. And that is, for one thing, at the very end, you'll notice that all of a sudden we went to, we're going to get 10 new dispensaries, and only one of them was going to go to minorities. Right. Didn't make any sense whatsoever.
That makes no sense.
And it's specific to the black farmers, not just minorities. So it's really, I'm really happy that black farmers are being recognized, but there are other minority groups that I'd like to see receive licenses. In this new bill, I like the veterans language as well.
Oh,
so I'm going to hand back to you, Gary. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I did want to highlight
I have a question.
Black farmer license.
Maybe you can answer. Why is citrus all of a sudden involved? Why is sugar all of a sudden involved? Don't you think that's a little strange?
Well, I know more than I should be able to tell right now about that. Suffice it to say that why is it the fact that out of the first 7, the minorities were totally blocked out. In the next 10, they were given only 1. So out of 17, why is only 1 given to the Pickford group? Why is only 1 given to those folks, and yet two preferences were given to these people who were latecomers in the game? These folks from the orange,
the citrus farmers and canners,
molasses farmers.
What
is that?
Molasses.
I mean, I was told that this week. What?
That's the way to get sugar in, correct? That's the way to get sugar in without saying the word sugar.
Basically, that is people behind the scenes giving political contributions to people in the Senate in particular. To go ahead and put this language in, and the House went along with it. It was all horse trading because, I'll give you this if you give us that kind of thing. The Governor Scott, he agreed to go ahead and sign this ahead of time as long as he got money for Visit Florida, and he got money for Enterprise Florida, which are basically his slush funds, and a way that he advertises Florida and Saudi Arabia and Syria.
Right. Wow.
And I, in addition to that, I know Bill Monroe is going to go into some more detail about the citrus piece, et cetera, and so on. But
I've been doing some investigation, and
he has, yes.
You guys do a lot of work.
Yeah. Thank you for what you do, Gary Stein. Listeners may recall
do your taxes and everything on point, right?
You better watch out.
I do my taxes.
You got your taxes in order. You got everything ready to go.
I got my taxes finished on January the 15th.
Good man.
Good job.
Good
for you.
Hey,
you're on it.
I want everybody to check their watches.
Check
their watches. It's 4:20. You know what that means?
Cannabis Life Radio proudly presents In the Know with Bill Monroe.
And now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
By remote broadcast, by the miracle of radio.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Bill Monroe, ladies and gentlemen.
It was so good to see you yesterday and Friday night at the Green Rose Party. Thank you for coming down and supporting our local SECC conference. Thank you.
I was blessed to actually have a speaking engagement with Bill yesterday. It was awesome. Thank you, Bill, for
where are you guys at?
Don't worry about it. Did I ask you the question? Don't I have Bill here? I mean, what are you doing here? I really appreciate you, Bill, coming, taking time first to come to our party, and have me join you yesterday in our speaking engagement. Do you have any more information on what you think's going on, and what can you share with us and with the people that are listening now on Facebook Live and on the radio?
Well, there's so some of the big industries are looking to get into the Florida market. I mean, I heard from a contact yesterday that Coca-Cola is looking to get into the cannabis industry down in Puerto Rico. And there are some large citrus companies here in Florida that have been asking about and trying to get into the cannabis group down here in Florida, and one of them is Tropicana, and Tropicana is owned by the Pepsi company. Now, I am not saying that Pepsi Cola is trying to get into cannabis. I am not saying that, but I am saying that Tropicana is owned by Pepsi, and there are citrus companies looking to get into Florida. That's all I'm saying on that end.
He's not saying anything else.
Right.
It stops right
I'm not saying anything else. I'm just stopping right there. So I'm just saying that Tropicana is owned by Pepsi-Cola, and Coca-Cola is looking to get into Puerto Rico, so you can make your own leap from those two statements.
Right.
But so they're not the only ones. Also, there's pharmaceutical industries that are down here in Florida. They're looking for licensing. They're looking to partner. They're actually talking to different groups about, okay, maybe your exit strategy 5 years from now is you sell to us. So, what we've been saying all along is this whole market is not set up for mom and pops or for, people to get in. It's not. It was all set up for large industry, and that's a shame because, the Governor Scott is talking about creating jobs here in Florida and talking about building up the economy. Mm-hmm. How are we going to do that if all we do is give it to corporations and we're either employees or we're customers, and that's all we are?
Well, maybe the jobs he's talking about are all his friends at Coca-Cola and all these big companies. Maybe those are.
This is like again, this type of plant can't be grown. It's not something you just throw on the ground. You got to have experts in this industry to be able to continue to grow the business. You need genetic modifications. You need hybrids. You need different things that Coca-Cola. Okay, great. They got great money. Right. But again, look how much money they're burning right now with the nurseries. I mean, they're just trying to raise money, and it looks like a fire pit of just money being thrown out because they really don't know what they're doing. Yeah. They really don't.
They don't. And also, Bill, to touch on one part of the new legislation where it restricts the ability to invest or sell off parts of your licenses. Just that, plus the limiting of the number of dispensaries, that reduced the value of those licenses. So when you partner that with what's happening with the Seminole Indians getting into the cannabis game, which was announced this week, the valuations on these licenses keep going down, which is good because it'll allow regular people to have a chance. But I wanted to hear your comments on and predictions based on the Seminoles getting involved and some of the language that are restricting the monopolistic nature of our current industry.
Well, the one thing about the Seminoles being involved, I want to clarify that is Chief Billy, who is with the Seminoles wanting to get involved. That is not the Seminole Nation saying they're going to get involved in cannabis.
He's going to,
I thought I saw there.
No, he's going to Arizona.
Okay.
But I thought I saw that. Sun Sentinel might have had a tricky headline on that story because the way I read it,
that's the way they do it.
Wanting to get into it, I have no idea.
But I thought there was an agreement in place and everything.
Well, there may be, but from what I'm hearing is it's just Chief Billy wanting to do his thing, but he doesn't necessarily represent all the different groups in the Seminole Nation, right? In the Seminole tribe. So, I mean, when that article came out, it was a little misleading. It made you think it was the whole Seminole tribe. Yeah. When in fact it's Chief Billy and a few others, and who owns that group. They're still trying to find that out because that's a kind of an interesting group at that point. So, yes, we want to make sure that our listeners understand it's not necessarely, although it may be happening behind the scenes, we don't know it, but it's not the whole civil tribe. It's just aspects of them.
Yeah, and I don't mean I know they've been trying. We've had meetings with them, and I know that they've tried to move forward for the last 3 years. And again, it's just to inform the people, obviously fake news or whatever they want to say. Yeah. I know it's not going to be Florida right now. I know that they're looking to expand to Arizona, then possibly bring it here in Florida because they have more of the casino issue down here than wanting to be able to grow medical marijuana or be involved in that side of the industry.
Yeah, the one thing, even if the Seminoles did get involved, they are on sovereign land. So you could go on sovereign land and use medical marijuana on sovereign land. But, of course, most people want to take it home because it's medicine. So if you were purchased on sovereign land and then leave sovereign land and you got pulled over by a police officer, there could be problems at that point. So, yes. So don't do it anymore. How they would work that anymore.
That is definitely consideration.
Yep. And one of the things I noticed in the bill, which was very interesting to me, is with counties, and I don't think they changed the language in the bill, but it said that counties can ban dispensaries, but they cannot limit the number of dispensaries. And Senator Bradley said a while back, he said because of the constitutional amendment, and he warned all the counties during the Florida Medical Marijuana County Convention. He said, if you try to ban them, you will be sued and you will lose that lawsuit. So in fact, what went into that bill was, if you want to ban them, you're going to get sued and you're going to lose. And if you don't ban them, you can't say, I'm going to allow this dispensary in, but I'm not going to allow that other dispensary in. As long as they follow the rules of pharmacies, then you can't do anything more than that.
But isn't there a provision?
I thought that was really interesting to see that language in there.
Didn't Morgan put in the provision for Amendment 2 that if people couldn't get their medication, that they could sue the state? Isn't that part of the...
There's definitely going to be lawsuits to follow.
There's a right to access. So, for example, if Indian River County decided we're going to ban all dispensaries, then they're going to get sued because of the constitutional amendment saying you have to have access. And so they would lose that lawsuit.
I have to take a look at the language. I think I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but maybe in banning dispensaries, it may be specific to they can ban specific ones, but not limit the number. So again, that wouldn't be an access issue if they are given the authority to ban specific ones for reasons unknown, but still allow a certain number so the patients will have access, but they can kind of pick and choose which ones they will authorize and allow.
Right.
And that may be...
that just puts it right back in their hands.
Banned for legal cause, but not banned because you prefer one over the other, right?
Right.
Right. Well, maybe they can. So again, maybe that's an attempt to limit the lawsuits against the cities by giving the cities the authority to ban, but not limit the number. So you have to have dispensaries, but you can't ban particular ones. And because it's law, then they won't be less vulnerable to lawsuits as a result.
Right.
I think everybody's getting sued.
Everybody's getting sued except for me. I'm the only one.
Sue everybody.
That's what you think, Leon. I'm working on something right now.
Me and Cheryl got some documents.
And I hate court.
You guys are going to be the ones that sue.
I'm going to put Minardi on.
See how you are.
Where's Minardi?
He's coming through. He's speaking right now. He's coming by for sure.
We're going to have Minardi. What do you call it? What did you do this weekend?
Oh my gosh!
How was your week?
My weekend was great. I've loved this SECC conference. I didn't get to take in much of the conference. I was really focused on the exhibitor space and just learning about what the new technologies are, what the industry trends are, new people entering the business with creative ideas. So that's really why I love the exhibitor space. I got the opportunity to speak this morning on realities of being in the cannabis industry, and it was well received. I met some fantastic people, met a lot of hopeful people, and this was a great experience for me. So I'm glad SEC chose Fort Lauderdale, our hometown.
I think it's absolutely great.
And they're coming back. We spoke to Dimitri. I asked David Fowler to come by and kind of give an update on the show if he had an opportunity, but we welcome them to come back. I believe it has contributed a significant amount to our economy. Most of the vendors were Florida-based organizations, so I think it's a great thing. I think we want to see it continue. Jobs, and hope, and it was fantastic to have that. As far as from a nightlife perspective, there was a great party last night. We're going to have Cannabis on to talk about.
You've been to quite a few parties.
Oh my goodness! I don't party a lot, but when I do, I shut it down.
I think you're lying about that.
I think both of you have partied so much that you forgot that Bill Monroe is still on the line.
Oh.
No, I'm good.
Bill, you should have been with me. It was crazy. Bill was nuts. It was bananas.
Day and a half.
That's with a couple of drinks, a couple of medications. We are card holders. I think.
Oh my goodness! I'm like, where's Bill in this?
Taking a rest.
Let's bring Bill back in. Bill,
I went to the Green Roads party on Friday night, and that was just like there were so many visual distractions. I was like a cat looking at laser light. That type of thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Surrounded by beautiful people, Bill. That's what we do.
Yes.
Typical Southwest.
That's the Miami life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you were also at the Minorities for Medical Marijuana Diversity Breakfast as well, which was great. What I love about it was it was a great example of the spirit of collaboration. Women Above Ground, we've had Bo Money on. She was here for the conference.
Bo Money was awesome. I haven't met her. I saw her passing by, but we had to come to the radio show. So
she's here right now.
Yeah,
I'll track her down. So we're going to see if we can get Bo Money on. But Bo Money with Women Above Ground and Roz got their heads together. Roz with Minorities for Medical Marijuana. They had a fantastic event. The chair, Eric Range, who's going to be speaking with us regarding Art 420 a little bit later. They all did a phenomenal job. It was a multicultural crowd. It was a little bit of everybody there. Two organizations coming together for a common purpose in cannabis to increase diversity, and they achieved it. And they achieved it at 8 a.m., which is nuts.
That is nuts.
I like
Especially
island time. I'm an island time girl, so getting up for 8 a.m. was a struggle, but it was worthwhile. And Bill, I know you took part in that as well.
Bill, you drove back. You already
good time
drove back
meeting
after yesterday's. After speaking yesterday, you already went back yesterday, right?
What's that?
You drove back home yesterday after after you spoke.
No, I drove home this morning early, and then I heard I had another talk, but there was a communication breakdown. So
yeah, I think that's one of the things that they're gonna get fixed. I think next year, and I think obviously this show is going to continue to grow, just because I guess the educational part and everything that's coming together, and a bunch of people, a plethora of people are getting in this industry in different styles, whether it's packaging or bottling or just creating different products or, educating. I think next year is probably going to be twice the size. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Yeah. No doubt. Everybody's already talking and it's trending on Facebook, and we're going to be with SECC wherever they go. We're going to Arizona.
You're going to New York.
Oh my goodness, yes, I am going. I was blessed by my Green Roads family. We're going to New York. We're going to shake hands and introduce people to the Green Roads way of doing things. Quality CBD every single time, pharmacist formulated. So we want to have some conversations up there, and I can't wait to get there.
Well, Bill, thank you very much for taking the time. Obviously, for joining us on Friday. For having me with you yesterday during your speaking engagement. And always thank you for joining us on Cannabis Life Radio and giving us your thoughts and everything that you do.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Bill.
As Leon acts like a clown, as
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I thank you for that, and I think we're going to be going to commercial break right now, so I really appreciate you taking the time for joining us today, Bill.
Okay, thanks everybody. Be safe.
Later, Bill.
Take it easy, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. Talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Florida Home Grow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out our organic hemp oils, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee while checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Home Grow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try an all-natural lemonade or delicious organic ice cream sandwich. Florida Home Grow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog Road and the Turnpike. We are Florida's #1 seller of hemp oil products because our stuff works. Finally, topical pain relief from hemp is available in Florida. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream uses powerful essential oils to deliver hemp's natural anti-inflammatory properties directly to the site of pain. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Extreme Cream is available exclusively at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. Extremecreamnow.com. That's Pain Blaster Extreme Cream, available at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. extremecreamnow.com.
Welcome to Florida's only cannabis radio program. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio.
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. What a confrontation this will be. Now look at me at 3:15. I wanna go home. That's where I should be. Don't know what to do or what I should say. Gotta make up my mind before night turns to day. Early, she told me, I'll be waiting for you, honey. I'll make something special for you. Now how am I going to enter? I can't afford to wait with lipstick stains. I've got to tiptoe. Now double trouble is waiting. It's wrapped up in my bed. I'm tired, I'm sleepy, can't take the noggin in my head. Double trouble is waiting, it's wrapped up in my bed. I'm so tired, I wanna go home. Now this is my date, wonder if she's awake or asleep. If I know her well, she's somewhere taking a peek. What will my story be? This one better be good. Should I tell her I had a confrontation with Robin Hood? The early she told me, I'll be waiting for you, honey. I'll make something special for you. Now how am I gonna enter? I can't afford to wake her with lipstick stains. I've got to tiptoe. Now double trouble is waiting, it's wrapped up in my head. I'm tired, I'm sleepy, can't take the noggin in my head. Double trouble is waiting, it's wrapped up in my bed. I'm so tired, I wanna go home. Now I'm worried for my life, it's going to fight. When I'm finally inside, will I still be alive? Now fate's behind the door, gotta promise her a tour. The night is so cold, I can't take it no more, no. She told me, be early, I'll be waiting for you, honey. I'll make something special for you. Now how am I gonna enter? I can't afford to wait her with lipstick stains. I've got to tiptoe. Cause double trouble is waiting, it's wrapped up in my bed. I'm so tired, I'm sleepy, can't take the noggin in my head. Double trouble is waiting, it's wrapped up in my bed.
Cannabis is life. Cannabis is medicine. This is Cannabis Life Radio.
You ruin it every time.
I love it. I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it.
I'm supposed to be.
This is fun for me.
I know, but it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to create the illusion, of smoothness.
You're very
you gotta come from the music, and then I come in and be very smooth, and I say, "Hi, I'm Leon Hamilton. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio."
That's boring.
This is. Well, anyway, I'm Leon Hamilton. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio, along with my co-host R.B. Barroso and Cheryl Murray Powell, and we have a lovely, lovely guest. Much, much better looking than Gary Stein, I must say.
Definitely much better.
I think Gary would agree.
I think Gary would agree.
I don't think his feelings would.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. Who is this, R.B.? Please introduce me to them.
I'll introduce her. I'll say, this is my Cannabis. She is a sweetheart, and she's my good friend, and she is all over the cannabis industry and has been for multiple years. So at least 5 years she's been in the game, and she is a marketing and media genius, and I just wanted to give her a good shout out. And she throws a good party, so we'll talk a little bit
that's the important
about last time.
Share, as long as you say party, it's good. We're good.
I'm about that life.
I feel like I'm supposed to say it's all my fault. Yes, I did it, and I'm guilty.
At least we get that all out of the way at one time.
Let's just get that out of the way right now. I did it. It's all my fault.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So Cannabis, we were talking a little earlier before you came on, and we're on commercial break, and I'm looking at your page and stuff. What brought you to the industry? You know, like what really drove you into getting into, you know, first it's a male dominant industry.
Yes.
Truthfully.
Like most.
But I think this is going to be able to diverse, including, you know, my partner is a licensed compound pharmacist. Her name is Laura. And we're very diverse. And I think that's how Cheryl came in. We met at a party, at a function, at actually a cannabis lab function. And she came in, she saw how diverse we were. But being in a male dominant, no matter what it is, you know, what were your obstacles to be able to launch this and really believe in what you were doing and get people on board with that story?
Well, you know, I've been around this plant pretty much since I was a child. You know, my parents were disco people.
I love your mom, by the way. She was jamming last
My
night.
mother loves you. Loves you. So anyway, I've always kind of been part of this plan. And over 5 years ago, I said, you know what? This is going to be the future. I was going to make a career in it. It was going to be the future of my financial life, just everything. So I said, how do I get a degree in an industry that doesn't exist?
Right.
So I set my Google alerts to cannabis. Love Google. And I've been reading every day ever since. So I'm self-taught in that aspect of the internet. I have a background in broadcasting. I have a degree in broadcast. I worked in radio.
Hey.
Yeah, I have a degree in
It's a lot easier. So I think we should bring Leon. I think
Listen, whoa, Leon, you lost your job.
That I can understand.
But your business is out of Arizona, is correct?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. I can only go there a couple times a year. Me and my wife get in a lot of trouble in that place.
Yeah,
I would
we
be
are.
dead in a minute.
There's a lot of things besides the strip, but the strip is definitely fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
My last trip to Vegas, I hung out with Cannabis. She took me to dispensaries. She took me to testing labs. She took me to the best barbecue with the cutest bartender. She took care of your girl, and I was out in 12 hours. I didn't even spend the
Flew
night.
in, flew out, saw everything.
Sure. Business.
She's good like that.
I'm a matter of fact, I'm convenient like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
So let's get back to how did you get this started, and what is it that you do today? Obviously, you don't touch plant, and that's one of the biggest things that we talk about on the show, besides legislation and how people get involved, whether it's education, going to events, and it's so important for people to understand that the avenues are completely open in this industry.
I always say, you have to take what you're already experienced in and what you already do and apply that and find your niche. If you've never grown or distributed cannabis, guess what?
Right.
You shouldn't. You either need to hire somebody that can advise you properly or, think of something else to do.
And I think that's a lot of people get stuck is that, I'm going to be able to grow and I'm going to make this money. And they don't understand that they really got to go after their talent.
Right.
And in regulation, the profit margins
Horrible.
are not there.
No,
not at all. The black market used to steal electricity.
Yep.
That's how they made all their money. And
Why you got to tell out my secrets? No, I stopped that business a long time ago. I've been in and out of that business for a very long time. So
I don't even remember you being in that business.
As long as you didn't put shards of metal in your bags of pot.
we were good. We were good. But so how when did you start your company?
So officially launched just a few months ago. At the end of last year. But I've been, manufacturing myself as a brand for years. With my background in broadcast, as I was selling advertising in the cannabis realm about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago now, or a little over a year ago, I noticed a separation in advertising in general with digital content creation. At the end of the day, it costs so much money to produce a video. You guys know it's not about the camera on your phone can be used. It's about the editing that's involved and the maintenance of posting it all the time, putting it on your website, all your digital infrastructure of your business, your domain.
Right.
They call your .com a domain for a reason. So Cannabis.com, because I don't even need a business card. I can go around Cannabis.com. You come to my domain.
Right.
My domain has all of my different projects, all my different partners, what everybody is good at, experienced at. Nelson and Sean, we do everything from the inception and concept of your business to your full entire website development, daily hosting, launching, posting and posting. All of your social content, all of your video production, pictures, everything you could possibly need for your digital presence.
Mm-hmm. And that's so important because people don't understand where they could start. And really they got to have some type of education or some kind of understanding. And if they have a little bit, coming to you could help that. and that could really guide their business and guide whatever ideas they may have. So you might be able to start somebody from the ground up. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the point of what we do. Actually, that's my favorite. One of my favorite industries is real estate agents, because real estate agents, if they can make a weekly video to put on their social pages about different properties they might have for sale, what's going on in the mortgage rate industry, they can constantly update their pages and buy advertising for pennies. And what it costs for that billboard ad or that bus sign, that's unaffordable for most people.
Yeah, it's really
more than that.
Yeah.
No, not even that. It's the world is going towards digital.
Right.
It's all changing in that.
I've heard of this digital thing.
You've been in that market.
Well, no, I'm still in the analog type radio.
Oh, you still have that.
Yes,
phone.
the cassette rewinding.
Do you have a house phone, by the way?
I have a house phone, and my cell phone is a big Nokia. It looks like a brick.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I had one of those.
Well, at least you got a cell phone, though.
Yeah. No,
so rude to me.
I agree with you guys as far as the digital space, and my company, High Life Media. I think there's great opportunity for partnership, and I love what you do. Like, I've looked at some of your posts on Facebook and Nelson's posts on Facebook as far as some of the music videos you guys have done and the quality.
Nelson is amazing.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
phenomenal.
Morning Coffee Productions, shout out at Morning Coffee Productions. Nelson Ramirez, he's a very talented videographer, producer. He's my brother. He's my partner. Right. He's my Arby.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, because I know
there
him.
You go, Leon. Brother. I'm the better looking bald guy.
Fantastic. Thank you. That is
all the way
awesome.
Down here to be brutalized.
How'd you come to plan the event of the whole SECC conference?
Well, I've resided in Las Vegas on and off, but mostly on, my adult life. I'm not going to give away my age here, but I'm proud of it anyway. But I'm born and raised here, right here. I grew up on that beach right down the street. I was born in the hospital down the street, and my mother's still here. I went to high school in Boca Raton. So I saw that this event was happening, the convention was happening, and I noticed that there wasn't I saw the Pro Bowl athletes dinner on Friday night, and I had noticed on Saturday that there was really no networking event going on. I said, you know what? I'm going to go down, see my mom. They're coming to my hometown. I'm going to throw an event. Called my friends over at Cash Only, shout out, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Cash Only.
Yes.
Great venue.
Yes.
Called them up, said, hey, you want to do a medical marijuana event for the convention? And my friend AJ, yep, and got all the partners together, and within 48 hours, we had a flyer ready to go. I would like to tell a really quick story if I can.
Of course.
So, I organized the party and everything. AJ, who put everything together with Cash Only and did the flyer. He had the flyer drawn up, sends me the final flyer with the girl and everything, and I send it on to the Cannabis Man. Another shout out, the Cannabis Man.
Yes,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, raising money for Florida's medical marijuana children. So anyway, he was the first person I sent the final flyer to, and he happened to be in California with a child. I don't know if you've heard of Landon. He's survived by cannabis, and he was out in California, and they happened to be together, and he sends me back a video on the Facebook message that I had sent him the flyer. And on the video, he's wearing a t-shirt, and he has Landon on his lap. And on this t-shirt was the same logo that was on the flyer that you saw.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I got goosebumps.
It's all right. I see you get a little emotional. It's all right. It happens to us in this business.
It was meant to be.
And that morning that I had woken up, I had this funny feeling of, am I doing the right thing? You just kind of wake up sometimes, and everybody's just kind of feeling like, is this going to really work out? Am I, what am I doing kind of thing? And that morning I woke up that way, and at that moment when that happened, it just told me, and the moral of that story is, when you're on the right path and you're doing the right thing, the universe will let you know.
Yes. You'll always find out.
It's an easy business to be in if you love what you do.
Yep.
Yes.
And we've been blessed to be surrounded by an amazing group of people, and I understand your emotion. I actually was talking to Dr. Lynn Meister last week while we were out of town, and she's had more patients that are reaching out to us, and I kind of said back to her, I was like, I don't know how you do what you do, because she deals with children, and I commend you. But when you see these families coming in, and they're trying to help their children, just to be able not to have a seizure and be able to actually leave their child with a babysitter or do stuff like that. It's an emotional moment.
Yeah.
When
you see the miracles in front of your eyes.
But it's the miracle, but it's also the emotion. We're obviously not doctors, but you know when you have these families come in and you see how the family's suffering and what it ends up doing to the family structure, whether they got to move to Colorado or where they got to do other things. That's why it's so important for every state to be involved and having this as a medicine for all types of ailments, whether it has THC, whether it doesn't.
Right.
I'm a true believer that CBD should be taken in a daily dose.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because it's nutritional facts. We need it for our bodies.
Yep.
And
Cannabinoids.
It's what we truly preach on. So I understand your emotion, and we're taken by it because we understand exactly how you feel.
Well, let me just say thank you for that. But I have to say, I throw the party. The cannabis man, Chris Hughes, he has the children every day. He's the one that. Thank you very much to him because he's the one that, by the way, we raised $281 last night.
Nice.
And it'll be going to help Super Sean. He does have a GoFundMe page, Super Sean, SHAWN. But right now his family is in badly need of a roof. The roof is literally leaking and there's 3 children. Sean is one of them. His brother has really bad skin eczema. They actually need $1,500 to cover the dumping and the materials. But the cannabis man's going to be doing all the work. He's a contractor, so he's going to be doing all the work, obviously, for nothing, but that's what's needed. So we're on our way there.
Well, you just make sure to get in contact with Cheryl because those are things that we definitely are heavily involved in. We've worked with the MS Foundation. We're working now with Jail and Bail. We're actually donating Laura, that's sitting right over there, for the Jail and Bail to raise money for the American Cancer Society. So we get heavily involved, and we have to give back. Because
please let me know how that goes because I met with the American Cancer Society out in Las Vegas, and because they're federally funded, it's kind of hard. So I really hope I want them to take the donation. Please take the donation because I've heard of people not accepting donations.
Right. Well, we're all over it. I mean, Cheryl brought David Singer in, and we had to sit down with him. We've already raised $3,800, and what we're doing is that we sell to 5,000 stores, so we're matching dollar for dollar. So for every store that gives $1, we're matching that dollar right back with them.
And that's why the CBD as a parallel line is very important because they may say no to the marijuana, but they'll accept the CBD. So let's work on a plan and a roadmap to kind of engage with Las Vegas. As far as Super Sean's brother, who's having the eczema issue, we would love to sponsor him with our skin relief cream.
That would be wonderful.
On that. Definitely, we're appreciating you. Share these stories. I know your heart, and I know that you're a giver, and you work so hard.
Thank
you. I'm just glad that I didn't think I'd be seeing you this year or this part of this year. So thank God for SECC for bringing my girl to me and bringing you into town.
To be here.
Awesome. So thank you for what you do, Shanna.
Thank you for everything
it's
you do,
important
Cheryl.
To be involved. It's really important for everybody to be involved and have the diversity. Again, it shouldn't be a man-driven industry. First, the plant itself is a female plant. So
there you go.
Yes.
That's the most logical thing you've ever said on this radio.
That's because you obviously don't pay attention on Sundays because I see a lot of logical things. You're just never paying attention.
I think so, mister.
And she's always right.
That point resonated. Yeah, that point resonated.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we got to go to commercial break if I'm not mistaken.
We got a couple minutes.
You got a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say today?
Yeah. I was kind of listening to you.
Oh, so cute of him.
Well, I know I'm excited about the next guest as well. So,
who do we have on next?
We got Jimmy from Weed for Warriors, and that advocacy group, they're just killing it. There is a image that came out. There's this chat that all the advocacy organizations are in, and then there was an image with Jimmy with the Weed for Warriors flag, and he's hanging over the balcony in the
Senate
and the Senate in Florida, the Florida Senate, and it's so powerful because it says so much because he probably wasn't able to speak at that moment to them, but he sent a very strong message non-verbally about we're not going anywhere.
Right.
You better take care of our veterans who serve this country, and we're going to fight. And we're going to win.
And they deserve it.
Yes.
Because the statistics of veterans that are actually committing suicide is drastically high, and they are asking for something besides pills and everything else that they're getting. They deserve cannabis, and I think it works very well with the post-traumatic stress syndrome, sleeping disorders, which a lot of veterans do. They have a hard time sleeping, and they shouldn't be filled with a bunch of pills and drugs that they're just giving them just to kind of almost zombie out.
Yeah.
They need to be listened to because they've sacrificed their time and their lives and limbs to make sure that we're here on the radio right now, even having these types of conversations.
Exactly.
So it's very important for that type of support, and that picture must have been very.
It's profound. It has to be on. I told Bob, I was like, that's our next cover for High Life, and he was like, well, we have the July cover, but we'll definitely get it in the magazine. I just want to, since we're talking about veterans, I wanted to just remind everyone remind Shanna that she introduced me to Christina with Blissful Vets, and Christina was on our show a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, and she talked about her activism with regards to getting veterans access to marijuana in Las Vegas, as well as addressing the homelessness issue for veterans in Las Vegas. So Christina, she's like a powerhouse. I love her so much, and I met her on that Vegas trip. So
she's wonderful. That. Blissful Vets is her organization, and another thing specifically to veteran women, because when they lose limbs and things like that, they still are going to have children and things of that sort. So the care that they need is much different, and it's not catered to.
Right.
So that's another thing that her organization definitely caters to.
Absolutely.
It's so cool to watch everybody that's getting in this industry. It really is. It brings everything, it brings everything to one. So it's really, really important that everybody that's getting involved. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
We're all aligned around justice and fighting injustice.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Shanna.
You are welcome.
Freedom of the leaf.
Don't
free
leave
the leaf.
us.
Free the leaf.
Don't be bashful, Cannabis. Anytime you are in town, you are welcome on our radio.
He typically does that.
I don't say that to anybody else except for you.
I've never said that to anyone.
Anybody. I don't think he's ever said that to anybody.
See?
Yeah, you're special for sure.
All right, I got something.
You might lose your job, buddy.
I got something very important to say here. You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Free the leaf.
Welcome to Florida's only cannabis radio program. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio.
All we need is love. Yeah. All we need in this world today is peace and love for you and me. I all we need in this world today is peace and love for you and me. I said love. Oh, love. Yeah. As I rise to the sun, I give thanks unto the Most High. Bless that you all thy days and my nights. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Hail up to all my brethren, oh, and all my sisters. Yeah. Let all lead the way. Whoa, oh. Why are we fighting? Oh yeah, oh yeah. And why are we fussing? Whoa, oh, oh, oh. All we need in this world today is peace and love for you and me. I said love. All we need in this world today is peace and love for you and me. I said love. Oh, love. Yeah. All we need is love. Oh, love. Oh, love for you and me. Oh, oh, oh yeah. My brothers and my sisters, hold the faith, and you will see. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. What a wonderful world this would be if we only show some love in our community. Tell me why are you fighting? Tell me why are you fighting? I wanna know. Yeah. All we need in this world today is peace and love for you and me. All we need in this world today is peace and love for you and
And we're hot.
Who's hot? Me?
This is Florida's most unique radio program. This is Cannabis Life Radio.
This is Cannabis Life Radio. Welcome.
See, I didn't interrupt this time.
Yeah,
I let you roll with it, and you still didn't do it right.
I screwed up because I'm so used to you interrupting me. Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World. I am Leon Hamilton, along with R.B. Barroso, Cheryl Murray Powell, and a special guest.
Yes, we've had plenty of special guests during this show. There's been a lot of really, really good people that are involved in this industry that have been present.
Yeah.
But I do have to do something really quick.
Okay.
I got to go through our winners.
Winners?
We have...
what do we give away?
I'm not going to get into that. You should know by now. But we are...
We gave away lollipops.
Good answer. I'm so happy when you're right.
See?
Our first winner, and we always kind of like rip this up, but I guess we'll go with it. Caroline Kerpel.
Yeah?
Tim Reynolds. That was pretty easy. Sounds like a famous person.
An easy name.
David Pruitt.
Good one.
And then Jason Windler.
Congratulations.
I don't. Did you say Alan White?
I didn't say Alan White.
No, you forgot.
See,
Alan White.
I'm even getting. That's all.
Wow.
And Alan White.
That's why I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
Oh,
I got you.
look at that. You see that? I got the winner sitting next to me, and I didn't even mention his name.
Wow, that's luck.
See, that's what happens when you medicate.
It wasn't fixed either. We had no idea. That's crazy.
So, Alan, tell me, how did you like the show? How'd you like the event?
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. See?
Yeah, he was just pointing out a name.
What I thought.
You did medicate, didn't you?
I am the only person on here that's sober.
Telling you.
I'm the only one. I'm the only person
I'm at a conference. I need the medication.
I don't believe that's the truth.
I don't think you medicate.
No
enough.
comment.
That's the problem.
Yes. Well, Jimmy, I just appreciate everything you do. I love you. I see you on Facebook. You know that picture of you with that flag is forever, ever. I mean, I think it needs to be sent for like some type of award, a national award. It says so much. And every like Orlando rally, Tallahassee lobbying. In fact, you were late coming down here because you were lobbying in Tallahassee this week with a special session. You are relentless. You work tirelessly for the cause of veterans, and we appreciate you so much.
Absolutely.
How can you tell us about your service and how you came to be involved with Weed for Warriors?
Yes, ma'am. I was in the United States Marine Corps. I was deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. I was not a combat veteran, and when I came home, that was something that I kind of struggled with a little bit
Why did you struggle with that?
I think as someone in the military, I joined to get in on the action.
Gotcha.
And I kind of got put where the Marine Corps wanted me, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It set me up with a career after the Marine Corps. But when I came home, I felt like I didn't give enough.
That you didn't give enough.
I had a
That's a common thing that happens to people that are...
Well, I mean, that's a struggle on its own. That's a stress. That you got to deal with that every day.
Absolutely. And I had an old veteran one day tell me that you leave the service thinking one of two things. One, that you either gave too much, or two, that you did not give enough. And when he said those things to me, like it really stuck with me.
Stuck with you.
Because I have a lot of friends from back home, from the military, and they did come home with PTSD. They did come home with some serious issues from war, and to see that and not be able to relate, like, I mean, it just, I hated myself for a while, honestly. It affects
you emotionally, obviously.
And it took my good friend from back home trying to overdose on heroin for me to really start paying attention, and for me to really wanting to. He did not overdose. He attempted to overdose. Let me rephrase that. He is doing well.
And he's still with us.
Yes, ma'am.
God bless.
But I mean, it took something like that for me to really start to want to take action, because there's over 22 veterans a day that are taking their own lives, and a lot of that is based off of pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah.
And that number is really closer to 80, because that 22 doesn't add in opioid overdoses, it doesn't add in benzos, any alcohol-related incidences, like none of that's added in there. So that number is really around 80 veterans a day, and that's unacceptable to us. Like,
I don't understand how they cannot pay attention to that. I mean, we support a lot. That is right. It is the money. We do support a lot of veterans. When veterans call us, we actually have a special promo code for our vets. And if they can't afford it, we sponsor them. Because they've told us, we are tired of living our lives this way.
Absolutely.
And when they get tired of living their lives that way, they have two options. Either they help and find another direction that they could go, or they end up going completely south.
Yeah.
And for everything that they've done for this country, that's the first person that we should be thinking about, is the people that have sacrificed their time and their lives and their families, not including, the families that are back home worrying about their spouses or their sons or their daughters that are out there, defending our freedom here in the States. So what is it that we could, how can we help on your cause? Like, what do we need to do to make sure to put the word out there and make sure that we're bringing more awareness as we do right now, but adding more people just continues to help us grow that awareness.
I think a lot of people, they hear the word 22 veterans a day, and and that's serious. What a lot of Floridians don't know is that veterans make up 8% of Florida's population, but 25% of the state's suicide rates are veterans.
Wow.
Florida has one of the highest percentages of veteran suicides in the country. Yep. And I don't think a lot of people really understand how serious it is just in Florida. It's serious everywhere. But in Florida, we had over 3,000 suicide deaths last year, statewide. That's not just veterans, but that's statewide. And in states that have access to medical cannabis, it is proven to where they've gone down, 11% decrease in suicide deaths?
Absolutely.
That's a lot of lives. And another 25% decrease for opioid and prescription drug overdoses. That's a lot of people whose lives can be saved from one plant.
Absolutely. And if you've listened to our show before, I'm very anti-pharma. What we've done, obviously pharma has its place in this world because they do, but when you have a business owner, a corporate owner that's not a doctor, that's not a scientist running a business, and they're running a legal drug business, at that point, all they're looking at is the revenue, how much the company is growing, what they're doing. And I was having a conversation with a young lady upstairs that was doing a presentation, and she was kind of talking about, what drug companies do, and she mentioned a company called Incest. And Incest is a company that sells fentanyl, sells opiates. Well, their CEO had to step down, and about 10 to 12 people got arrested because they were kicking back money to the doctors to provide these type of medications. But yet now on March of this year, they gave them a approval for a synthetic THC product.
Right.
So it makes no
money, man. It's all, they're trying to make it to where they can get in on this cash crop, and they don't want the actual real plant. They want to make it some synthetic drug that we have to take.
They've actually said that they can make a better synthetic than
control.
Exactly.
They can make something better than God did. That's what they're trying to say.
That's impossible.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, Jimmy, I think because you're a veteran, you're perfectly placed to lend the ear of lawmakers that ordinarily would not even consider marijuana. So I think you use that platform in a very positive way. One thing I like is you align yourself with a lot of like-minded organizations in order to progress things. What is your best case scenario as far as what the Florida legislation will look like?
Man,
there's veteran language in there now, but is that what you want, or would you like something better?
I mean, I don't care for any of the language of the bill. It's not patient friendly. It's still a really restrictive market. Prices are still going to be high. You have people that are getting licensed that really have no qualifications whatsoever.
Have no understanding.
That's right. The orange thing, the citrus thing, the was it molasses process? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah,
like just out of nowhere.
That's why.
I just I really don't. I don't agree.
I agree with him.
I don't like it.
I think
it's better than nothing, though. Yep. I feel like
I think it's a movement forward.
As bad as I feel about saying that, we have to start somewhere. But I don't like it.
You have to start somewhere, and then we sue them.
Exactly.
That's the way to fix it.
That's the only way we're going to get change.
It's the only way
to take money out of their pockets, which is technically our money.
The thing is that they weren't going to allow just full integrated, whether it's vertical, definitely not, horizontal is not going to happen here for a long time. But I think having, one of the things that's definitely missing is people being able to grow their own.
Right.
You got to be able to grow your own, because I want my own type of medicine. I know what I want. I want low THC, high CBD. I don't like the high sativa strains for me. So for me, what I say is, patient specific. It's how you want to grow your plant, how you want to, medicate yourself is the most important thing, because a doctor, Marinol, for an example.
Oh my God.
Marinol is synthetic. It has 1 milligram dosages, and it fits for, a 100-pound person or a 300-pound person.
Right,
somebody that might have been done on opiates, somebody that wasn't on opiates.
Right.
So it gets them sick. So they made it into a chewing gum, so it could disperse, less, not all in one shot. So it's difficult. I think that we should, Florida, hopefully, and we will be pushing for that, is for people to be able to grow their own plant. Whether you could grow your 6 plant, whether your 8 plants, whatever, you should be able to medicate, and you should be able to do whatever you need on your own, and continue to move forward instead of having all these nurseries monopolize this whole business and have all the state guys. You know how much money these guys are making? And all the money that they're putting in their pockets during this lobby.
I have a hard time feeling like they're not making anything, really.
Right.
I mean, so Terry came over here and paid $47 million for a license. But how are they? I mean, how?
And only for 40%, and that was only for 40% of the business.
Yeah.
Right.
For 40% of the business, they paid $37.8 million, 37.8% for $60 million of Chestnut Hill.
$60 million. Okay,
well,
I was off.
I remember when John Morgan originally wrote this law and put it forward, and somebody asked me why there was specific, and you can answer this for me probably better than anybody. They put into the law, somebody from United for Care told me this, that the reason that they worded parts of the amendment in a certain way was because if people were living in, say, Lee County or something, place where they're not going to have any dispensaries, or up next
rural areas,
up next to Jacksonville, the places that did not vote for the amendment or whatever. Those people get their cards, and then medicine, because there's no dispensaries, the way that it's worded is that you could sue the state, and that would trigger the state to say, you know what, we're going to have to stop all these lawsuits and allow people to grow at their houses, because this is getting insane. And that was the whole point, because John Moore there about at home, and that's the reason he said that he did it, is because to force them by using lawsuits. But now it's going to be so crazy, everybody's going to sue.
Yeah, everybody is going to sue, but there are a lot of alliances between the advocacy organizations. We really are supporting each other and keeping each other educated, and really the lawyers in the industry are going to get together for a strategic plan. We already know a high level what we're going to do. As far as a high-level plan to write a law that will be easily violated so that we could sue, I don't know. I don't know if that wouldn't be my ideal strategy. I know with the petition we're working on now through Regulate Florida, we're being so specific so they can't possibly mess it up. Yeah. So I don't know if that was. I think we were always hopeful that they would do the right thing. We were always prepared for lawsuits, and then when they're budgeting for growth, they're budgeting for lawsuit. So that's the sad part about it. Jimmy, I know you have Brandon in South Florida in the Miami area, and then you're up north. And is there a Weed for Warriors across the country? Is there an expansion plan? What does your organization look like structurally as far as national, having a national footprint?
Yes, ma'am. We started in 2014. Our founder, Kevin Richardson, was a Marine Corps veteran. He attempted to commit suicide, and one of his good friends introduced him to cannabis. And after that, he started the project. And from there, we've been moving forward. We have.
Where's he based? Where was
San Francisco?
San Francisco. Okay,
yes,
so
ma'am.
this is West Coast.
Yep, there are. I don't even know how many chapters in California. There are a lot of chapters in California. We have a chapter in Washington D.C., New Jersey. There's one in Tampa, North Florida, Miami. There's one in Denver now. We just opened one in Denver. And I believe we have one in Australia and as well the United Kingdom. We are very structurally sound, I would say.
It sounds like
it is really based around military principles and core values. So we hold our integrity to a very high level. And our mission is to help veterans find healing through cannabis or whatever it may be. Cannabis isn't for everybody. Not everybody can smoke. It makes them more anxious. It's not for everybody. But we just want to give those veterans the opportunity to come in and feel safe. A lot of guys with PTSD don't like to socialize.
Right.
They seclude themselves. So we just want to give them that safe space to come and feel comfortable and fellowship and sort of get some of that camaraderie that we lost when we left the service during our chapter monthly meetings.
Definitely.
How would a chapter meeting start educating on that side? So let's say that we wanted to donate our time and donate, have doctors come in and psychologists come in and really talk to them about, what cannabis could do, because cannabis could be, it could be CBD, it could be, consuming, a low THC, high CBD strain, which really, really helps with PTSD and the anxiety, and really start educating them on that side so they're not the stigma, because, you guys have a lot of pride, and that's what gets you guys going out there and fighting, and they won't ask for help. But having sessions where we actually educate and just tell them, listen, this is not about asking for help. This is about making you feel better and really having you socialize with your family or your friends and really not secluding yourself, because that's what ends up happening when people become addicted to any type of product and any drug itself, coming from somebody that used to have that problem. I used to seclude myself because I didn't want to hang out with anybody.
Just want to go home and get high.
I didn't want people to watch me.
I've been there.
So we would definitely love to dedicate our time and our efforts on that forefront, because I deeply respect what you guys do for us as a patriot, as somebody who lives in this country and enjoys the freedoms that you guys have given us. We will be more than happy to do whatever we need to do to further the cause and education for the veterans.
Yes, man. It's all about it's about consistency, really, for the veterans, because there are some times where we hold meetings where only 2 or 3 people show up, and there are meetings where lots of people show up. But it's just about that repetition, that consistency, getting the word out, and letting veterans know that they can come out and get this access to medicine. They do have support. They do have, at these monthly chapter meetings, they have that family, they have that support, that fellowship, that brotherhood, that they had in the service. Like, we are here for one another. The VA, the government, the state, like, No one's doing a good enough job of taking care of the veterans, so it is up to us as veterans to be accountable for one another.
We would love definitely to be part of that.
Absolutely, and I really thank you for you guys did an amazing thing for us this weekend and donated, Green Roads donated $500 worth of certificates for us to raffle off this week. And really, thank you so much. Really, you guys are really some of the first people to step up for the project down here in Florida. So thank you for the bottom of
I would appreciate it, and maybe next time, you could come by, our warehouse, come and meet
Yes,
our
sir.
guys, and then really we'll sponsor and support whatever we need to do for you guys.
Thank you.
For sure. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Do you ever get the comment, why weed for warriors and not cannabis or marijuana, something a little bit more benign?
I've never been personally asked that, but I have personally thought about it. I think for the people that we're aiming for, like the veteran community,
right?
I just feel like the name,
it's strong.
It's strong. It lets people know, like, we're here for the veterans.
Right.
We're warriors. That's what we are.
It's also a lot of veterans that I talk to every day.
Yeah, this is real. I show people this all the time. Like, look, I'm not joking around about this. Like, this is people's livelihood. This is their lives. This is mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, grandchildren. This is real life.
Serious. Yeah. What I was going to say was that, I talked to a lot of veterans and they have PTSD issues, but also there was a lot of pharmaceutical problems. One of the medications that I talk about all the time is the one that they gave me that was experimented on with Iraq veterans for pain, and it was Lyrica. And that literally, the minute you take it, you start contemplating suicide.
An antidepressant?
It's an antidepressant and also pain pill. It's a neuroblocker, basically, and it's
crap.
Yeah, it's garbage. And I literally went back to my doctor and I said, this is the reason veterans are killing themselves. Why are you prescribing this to anyone?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, they fly me all over the world.
Listen,
that was your experience with Lyrica. So it was a personal experience.
That's my personal experience, but I have also talked to people that.
But you're not the only.
Situation.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I know why you're saying that, and that's why we have counsel on here. But I can tell you right now, you're not the only one that's gone through that.
No.
There's a lot of people that go through that, and that's why in the bottom they have small little words, suicide thoughts, this and that.
So horrible.
It's horrible how they continue just to create drugs for every little thing.
Everything needs
restless
a pill.
leg syndrome, this syndrome, that syndrome.
And then you give you another pill for the symptoms that's caused by the first pill.
And look what happened with EJ. EJ with the tumor, the medication that he was taking was actually activating the tumor, was helping him with the seizure a little bit, but activating the tumor. So now we've eliminated that.
Right.
He went 21 days seizure free in April. He was at the party on Friday night joining us. So these are things that it's just continuing to educate.
Yes.
The thing is that this medication and this type of medicine has been gone for so long that now the growers and everything that they're being able to do is the hybriding and the different types of strains that they're being able to create affects everybody differently.
Right.
So it's really, really, really important. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see miracles in this side of this industry.
Definitely.
That are really going to start eliminating. I was reading an article the other day that marijuana in 2017 is going to eliminate $4 billion from the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah, they're real happy about that.
Yeah, they're ecstatic.
That's what we're fighting against right now.
Real happy.
So we want to just make sure that we continue to educate. We are extremely involved with the communities, with families, with children, with MS, with psoriasis foundations, and definitely with veterans. And again, our doors are open at any point in time. You guys could come in, see what we do, and anybody and anything that we could do to help. We're committed to do that. And I know repetitiveness, whether it's 2 veterans, 3 veterans, and it gets to 10 or 20 or 30, it needs to start somewhere. So whatever we need to do to help push that forward, we will put our efforts into that.
Thank you.
Okay?
For real.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank you so much.
All right. Well,
Appreciate you.
this has been great. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me. Yes, sir.
We are going to take a break. You are currently listening to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Salute.
Florida Home Grow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out our organic hemp oils, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee while checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Home Grow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try an all-natural lemonade or delicious organic ice cream sandwich. Florida Home Grow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog Road and the Turnpike. We are Florida's #1 seller of hemp oil products because our stuff works. Finally, topical pain relief from hemp is available in Florida. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream uses powerful essential oils to deliver hemp's natural anti-inflammatory properties directly to the site of pain. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Extreme Cream is available exclusively at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. Extremecreamnow.com. That's Pain Blaster Extreme Cream, available at Florida Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. extremecreamnow.com.
If you need cannabis as medicine, you need Cannabis Life Radio.
Don't hurt my feeling, darling. Give me a chance to show you how much I love you. Saw you last night and told you how much I love you. You didn't believe a single word I say. Come today, you gonna believe me. Gonna squeeze your hand, show you how I care. Only promise me you'll never hurt me, darling. Don't hurt my feeling. Don't do that to me now, darling. Don't hurt my feeling. How could you leave me this way? Don't hurt my feeling. I wanna show you I care. Don't hurt my feeling. Don't do that to me. Saw you yesterday, you were hiding in the corner. Wanna know why? Didn't believe my eyes that you would come on ya. My friends all say that you are shy. I wanna know the reason why. No need for that right now, gonna show you I love you. Only promise me you won't. Don't hurt my feeling. Don't do that to me now, darling. Don't hurt my feeling. Wanna squeeze you and show you I care. Don't hurt my feeling. Don't hurt my feeling. Don't do that to me, girl. Saw you last night and told you how much I love you. You didn't believe a word I say. Come today, you gonna believe me. Gonna squeeze your head, show you I care. Only promise me that you'll never hurt me. Don't do that, cause don't hurt my feeling. Don't do that to me, darling. Don't hurt my feeling. Don't hurt my feeling. Wanna squeeze you and make you mine. Don't hurt my feeling. Saw you yesterday, you were hiding in a corner. Wanna know why? Didn't believe my eyes that you would come on ya. My friends all say that you are shy. I wanna know the reason why. No need for that right now, gonna show you I love you. Promise me you won't ever. Don't hurt my feeling.
Hot mic.
Nobody covers cannabis news like Cannabis Life Radio.
Nobody.
Welcome to Cannabis Life Radio. I am Leon Hamilton, along with Arby Barroso, Cheryl Murray Powell, and
Mr. Daniel Sparks.
From
BioTrack.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
So Daniel, tell me, what's going on, man? We're gonna get right into this. We're getting right into this. How was your week?
So the show was great. The week has been going pretty well. Had a couple speaking opportunities, and the turnout at SECC was really good here in Fort Lauderdale. Inaugural show at a big convention center down here, hometown.
That's right.
So it was a really good showing. Very happy about it.
Awesome. So what did you guys? I mean, I know that the people that are listening and watching this. What is exactly that BioTrack does in the industry of cannabis?
Sure. So we're what's commonly referred to as seed to sale tracking. So we develop software for governments as well as for cannabis businesses around the world. So cultivators use our software. Manufacturers of cannabis products use our software to track their conversions, and laboratories use our software. So it's chain of custody, it's inventory management, point of sale.
And that's almost like what's implemented in the law. So in other words, when the state passes it, you guys go down there, you guys try to provide the state or the nurseries with that software so they could seed to sale track
where everything is going
and stuff like that, right?
Exactly. So the government system, we currently have contracts in several states. So Washington, Illinois, New Mexico, Hawaii, New York, Delaware, they are currently or will be using our software to track all activity within their legal cannabis program. So from seed to sale, all the information that's required by the law is submitted into our platform.
And when we were on a panel together, I was moderating that panel earlier today here at SECC, and we spoke about the security breach issue. And I always raise that when I have an opportunity to speak to you or when you're speaking to the public, because it's so critical and so important and could potentially topple our whole industry if we don't do it the right way. So I always say BioTrack is our line of defense between the industry moving towards legalization and being toppled by some type of security breach. So can you talk a little bit about why it's talk about the fact that not every seed to sale tracking company is the same, and why BioTrack is superior in every way?
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. When you're talking about patient data, this is sensitive information that needs to be kept private. and the law requires that it remain private. So when you have a platform that is used by governments that is housing this sensitive data, that platform needs to be of the utmost security, redundant backups. All of your servers need to be of the highest security possible, and continually staying up on all upgrades and making sure to ensure that it is of the highest security.
So you guys are the fortifiers. Basically, you fortify whatever, I mean, once that software's in there, you guys have the data, and that data is extremely important on every aspects of how the business is ran and how it's grown across, all the states that you're working with now. Now, obviously, we spoke earlier. We're trying to bring even the hemp side of the industry into it, because we think that the genetics on the hemp side is very important to track, because I think we're going to be able to create certain genetics in certain plants that we're going to be able to control and provide, hopefully, nutrition and hopefully medicine in the near future.
Absolutely. So states like Colorado, Washington, the innovators, if you will, as far as adult use, the cornerstone of those programs was robust tracking. Mm-hmm. So these states don't have a whole lot of guidance, and there is no federal law permitting legal cannabis use. So states like Colorado, Washington, all of these medical and adult use states, they're operating under guidance from the federal government that says, states, if your programs prevent diversion, keep it out of the hands of children, where the youth that it right. shouldn't be going to, and preventing the criminal element. These programs are allowed to exist. So hinging on that is a robust tracking system that allows for the government to have transparency into what these businesses are doing and to make sure that they're complying with the law.
I've always been kind of curious. Do they actually check?
Yes, they do.
They do.
And
do they take the time to actually do that?
They do, and it's definitely a prioritization. So someone that may be harvesting one plant or two plants may not be under as high of a priority as someone that's harvesting 100 or 1,000 or thousands of plants.
Right.
So can every single activity that occurs within the business have the agency's eye overseeing everything? No, absolutely not. However, with the use of robust tracking systems and proper training of those agency staff, they have the ability to see instances where diversion could occur.
Gotcha.
So it's very much a fluid system where changes in the law, new market demands, changes in the industry in general constantly need to be in the same vein operating as the system that's holding it together.
Do you guys go through that much? I mean, obviously, the software updating and stuff. So do you guys have that oversight where the government comes in and say, well, we want to implement this. You guys got to do this now. Because obviously that costs money, it's time. The reason why I left the cannabis industry was because every other month they were changing certain legislation and certain regulations. So are you guys having to deal with that all the time also?
Absolutely. So you have medical markets that are merging with adult use markets. You have adult use markets that are absorbing medical markets, such as in the state of Washington. So when we have an agreement with a state, that agreement is contingent on changes and how both parties deal with those changes are agreed upon.
And I know earlier you spoke about recalls and the importance of batching and having batch numbers, et cetera. Can you share how the fact that your company exists helps with public safety and if there is a recall need because of some type of contamination, that you can quickly identify where the issue took place?
Absolutely. So I can give you a pretty good example, actually. So in the state of Washington, there was a infused beverage that was over-carbonated and was exploding.
Yeah, I remember that.
So the beverage itself and the medicinal properties or the active ingredients had nothing to do with the actual safety or lack of safety in the bottle. However, that entire batch from which the ingredients inside that bottle derive could be backwards traced, and essentially from the bottle on the shelf in the retail store all the way back to the batch that created it, they were able to backwards trace, go to every single retail store that had all of those bottles, pull them off the shelf in a very short period of time. So that could have been accomplished over a longer period of time, but if an exploding bottle were to injure somebody or whatever the case,
the news would have loved that.
So that risk needs to be mitigated in as quick a period of time as possible.
And that's almost what we do through Green Roads. Everything that we do is lot, batch, and obviously as we move forward, we get more, software, and we just put in a new software into our system where anything and everything that leaves our warehouse, we know where it's going, we know the batch number, we know how it was made. So that it's complicated. It's time consuming, it's complicated, and then you're always having to worry about them changing. One little thing changes your whole system.
Right.
There are changes that come about. I'll give you another example. In the state of Oregon, they recently decided that all patient data, medical patient data, can only be stored for a maximum of, I believe it's 48 hours.
What?
Yeah. So that's a requirement in the law. The law changed. The legislature in Oregon passed that law, and we had a window of time in order to institute that, and we were able to do so.
Time out. Medical records typically have to do 3-5 years. So in other words, you're saying that in 48 hours, that patient gets put into the data. After 48 hours, they got to be eliminated from that data.
Certain information regarding
has to be scrubbed off.
Correct, unless they opt in and allow for it to be.
Which most people are going to want to have to opt out anyways.
Right. Or
it's at their option. It's at their option, but unless they elect to allow you to do so, you have to purge your system of their sensitive data, which our system does.
What are other ways that you've had to innovate over time? Because you guys were some of the early players in the game, and again, you're international now. So as you've seen the industry grow, how have you had to adapt and adjust to the industry?
So we pride ourselves in being ahead of the curve and being one of the more established systems in the industry. We've been able to do so by compiling such a great team.
Right.
And the changes come quick. I know you do. So with states opening up programs that allow for CBD or low THC, these are in the way that they're set up, they may be different as far as a patient or a licensed business operation, but the growing of the plant and the way that the plant grows and the way that the cannabinoids are extracted and the quality assurance process that the hemp products go through is identical, essentially. Yeah. So it's really a chemical technicality that we're splicing here.
Well, I can tell you right now, we look forward, Green Roads does, to work with BioTrack.
Absolutely.
With FAMU.
Thank you.
And with UF and us, we have 2 years to research the plant. So there's going to be a lot of things going on from now to 2 years. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing a lot of each other.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to that. And probably putting in a lot of hours and time into what we're trying to do. And Cheryl is heavily involved with us. Roz McCarthy is. Bless Dean Robinson from FAMU. And all those who are involved in what we're trying to do here in Florida by bringing farmers back to work, educating as much as we can the industry, working with FIU, and continuing this to educate that it's not always just about the medical marijuana plant, but there's also supplements and CBDs and nutritional facts that come from that plant, including hopefully building a community in the next 5 to 7 years that's eco-friendly, that's built all out of hemp. So hopefully that's in the future and in our crystal ball. And I appreciate you taking the time. Daniel's Sparks from BioTrack.
Thank you,
Interesting company. Definitely look them up.
Thank you.
You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Florida Home Grow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out our organic hemp oils, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee while checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Home Grow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try an all-natural lemonade or delicious organic ice cream sandwich. Florida Home Grow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog Road and the Turnpike. We are Florida's #1 seller of hemp oil products because our stuff works. Finally, topical pain relief from hemp is available in Florida. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream uses powerful essential oils to deliver hemp's natural anti-inflammatory properties directly to the site of pain. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Extreme Cream is available exclusively at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. Extremecreamnow.com. That's Pain Blaster Extreme Cream, available at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. extremecreamnow.com.
You look
Extreme Cream.
Extreme Cream to Florida's
you-
only Cannabis
no wonder.
Radio program.
Your mic is on.
Cannabis Life Radio.
I'm like, who's yelling? What's going on here? I'm so
Oh my goodness. Welcome to Cannabis
When are we
Life
going
Radio. Leon Hamilton here along with Arby Barroso, Cheryl Murray Powell, and Michael Minardi.
Oh, wow, we're back on?
Yes, we're on the air. Cheryl, somebody
You don't
wanna
let
tell
nobody
Cheryl?
know. That's the problem.
Yeah, does somebody want to tell Cheryl that we're on the air?
Cheryl's having her own conversations right now.
Oh, okay, we'll go ahead and do the show.
on. It's okay.
We'll do the show without you, Cheryl. No biggie.
We got one of the most important guys here in Florida, actually, that's tuned in. First, I'm going to give out a couple more lollipops and a $500 giveaway winner. So we're talking about Philip B., Nuno Guys, Crystal Friede, Brandon Tex, Joseph Shatner, and the final $500 giveaway winner is to Anna Szynski.
Yeah.
Szynski?
Yep, Szynski.
Man.
Congratulations to our winners.
100%.
Good job.
Good job.
All right, we've got
so
some
we're
stuff to discuss
definitely
with
going to
Mr.
rush
Minardi.
through
Yeah,
this
we gotta
because
go.
we're going to be cutting out. But we do have one of the most important men in Florida that defends people that get arrested either for possession or for growing cannabis here in Florida, which we all think should be medical and should continue to evolve. Mr. Michael Minardi.
Hello, thank you very much, Mr. Arby.
Thank you, sir.
Green Roads.
Thank you.
And Cheryl.
Hey there, Mike.
Nice to see you.
Heard your team's grown a little bit.
It is.
Yeah.
I think I added.
Let's talk about it.
Cheryl Murray Powell to Minardi Law.
What?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Heard first here on Cannabis Life. Yo.
You got a job for me?
That's right.
No, you ain't got no jobs, man.
Yeah, they're going to fire me.
This ain't no free. This ain't no free ride here.
I'm looking for jobs. Just putting that out there because I'm about to get
Listen,
fired.
I need my lawn cut. So if you want to come out and cut my lawn,
be replaced by
Just go ahead and enroll in law school. We got you. Man.
What do you guys? Can you explain? I know that when I first saw came in for the event, you had a gentleman next to you that you had just gone to court with and successfully won. Can you talk a little bit about that?
That was Chris Lewandowski.
Okay.
He was in from Oklahoma. Actually, he was in from California, but we had a case in Oklahoma a couple weeks ago. He's a veteran. He faced 2 years to life for 6 marijuana plants in Oklahoma.
So it's 2 years to life for 6 plants.
Yes. No prior criminal record. A 10-year veteran. Honored and commended by President Obama for taking out a sniper that had killed dozens of other soldiers.
Wow.
And yeah.
They should be ashamed.
Yeah.
That's like, how do you do that?
Like there's going to be a movie about this guy, and then it's going to say how because they were so backwards, they almost sent him to jail.
Well, it gets better. So, as I'm leaving here tonight, I'm jumping on the plane to Colorado to meet with some people, 2 other cases that I'm going to be taking over. One in Kansas, and he was a Navy veteran, and they have taken his child away, and they've had his child for 2 years because he admitted to using cannabis to treat his PTSD. And they do not want him and will not let him take his kids and move to Colorado.
That is absolutely absurd.
That's ridiculous.
So they're literally like, you cannot take your kids and move to a legal state. It's illegal here. We think it should be illegal. You cannot take your kids.
Well, how do you, how do these people look? I mean, like, what? I mean, how can you actually face them and not really send them to the bottom of the pits of this earth?
I because we have to wish good on everyone, even those enemies of ours, unfortunately.
But that pisses me off.
Wow. But, and you don't wish it on anyone, but unfortunately, I think the only way people learn that this is a medicine, that people need this, is when
cases
these extreme cases.
Well, you got a point. I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm talking about the hypocritical people. Right. They need someone in their family, unfortunately, to get addicted to opiates, to have to go through chemo. That's right. They're like, oh my God, this is horrible.
Well, that's like the judge that we had on that felt guilty, Judge Bench. I mean,
he was here.
He felt so guilty for sending people to jail for possession or marijuana growth and stuff like that. And now, why did he go back? And now, why does he believe in it? And why is he preaching on it? Because he had COPD and they gave him 20 months to live. And now he takes cannabis and now he doesn't have COPD. He's still alive. It sucks for people to have to go through that, but that ends up happening.
Well, it's a realization, I think, that people are suffering and dying, and people are just so brainwashed. So we can't blame them for this.
I agree with that.
We have to blame big money. We have to blame greed. We have to blame big pharma. We have to blame textiles and oil and the prison associations. Those are the people that we have to blame because they've been increasing the rhetoric, and that's why shows like this are so great, because if you can get educated and you can bring people that education, we're hopefully undoing generations,
and you're right. That's like multiple generations of the stigma. I remember, when they cracked that egg on the pan, this is your brain on drugs, and they were talking about pot, and then they had another one where a child committed suicide and got in front of a train because he smoked a joint.
Yeah, and the one that the kid blended in with the couch. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, these are the things that you're right. I mean, I think cases like that ends up going really public, and we talk about it, and people start getting educated, and they come to shows like this that are an expo. And there's professionals, accountants, lawyers, different types of people that are real professionals that are involved in this industry that's really legitimizing the cannabis industry right now.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I love it. So I don't know if you've seen it yet, but the woman who did the original, this is your brain on drugs commercial, let's come out with a new one. We're like, whoa, I was lying.
Yes, that was awesome.
This was all a bunch of shit.
That's basically what she said.
It's crazy. Actually, the czar for Ronald Reagan at the time, I won't mention his name, but his son-in-law got in a car accident, and he used to go. He was one of the first drug czars for Ronald Reagan. His son-in-law got in an accident, and he started treating him with cannabis.
I didn't know that either.
Oh yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm going to share the story with you.
All right, nice.
There's a book I have as well. The foreword is done by, I believe it was a former aide or something like that to President Reagan as well.
That's what it is. That's
and
what it is.
In one of the marijuana books, and she did the foreword, and she said exactly, this. And we look at all the doctors. Lester Grinspoon, the way he got into it, his son had leukemia. These people, unfortunately, just don't listen.
Right.
Even a lot of the groups that are here today, the advocacy groups regarding like autism for Veterans for Autism, the PTSD groups. These people are here because they went through the pharmaceutical route and it didn't work for them.
Right.
So, even them, all the advocacy groups, I'm kind of lucky. I became here because I learned this at an early age. I had a bumper sticker that said stay in school, learn the system, then change it. That's why I became an attorney. That's why I continue to move this. I don't have trauma necessarily that caused myself to get into this industry in many ways, or at least to become an attorney on it, where these people became advocates because of that. Right. So, it's very interesting, but it's sad that it has to happen to people in order for them to understand that this is legitimate.
I completely agree. I mean, I got my mother-in-law sitting right there. She's been 13 months off all medications, and she had MS for 9 years. She's had an MS for 9 years. Yep. Now she's on CBD. We're going to get her card through the doctor, probably through Dr. Michelle Weiner, because she went and had a test drug that hadn't been approved by the FDA, and she was taking her shots every other day, and literally she tried that one drug that was unapproved she got in a car, parked in front of a lake and wanted to go in and kill herself because the medication messed her up that bad where she literally threw everything away. She's been on our CBD now for 13 months, and now we're going to get her on to a red card. So it is sad, the fact of people not being educated and having to get sick, but this is something that we should be taking every day as nutrition. 10 milligrams are starting to show 10 to 20 milligrams. It's a vitamin.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the receptors in our brain for that specific reason. Yeah. You're the man. Give me the
Let's
dance.
talk
Give me
about
the
Regulate
dance.
Florida just really quickly before we end.
RegulateFlorida.com. Help us create adult use and home cultivation here in the state of Florida and change the world.
Definitely follow Michael Minardi. He is the man who has saved lives and people from going to prison. It's an honor to sit next to you. I'm glad, and thank you for coming in and just joining us for a couple minutes and really sharing the stories and everything that you're doing.
The feeling is mutual for you guys and what you guys do in Florida, and thank you to the SEC Expo for having this awesome event, and I'm excited for next year as we end this year.
Absolutely.
We're going to blow this state up, man.
We know it.
Together we can. Promise that.
www.regulateflorida.com. Please download the petition, sign up to volunteer. We need 1 million petitions to get on the ballot. We need your help, all right?
Yeah,
let's get it rolling.
We need to say thank you to everybody that helped us here, all the people from...
Oh my God.
We got Jeff, we got Brandon, we got the whole team out here. It was amazing. We cleared it out. Everybody's gone already. We want to thank them for allowing them to stay here at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Because yesterday they kicked everybody.
That was me.
Well, that's because you do magic.
Yeah, I know.
You're a magic guy. You know what I'm saying?
Good me. Oh my goodness. We hope you join us again next week at 4 o'clock on 850 WFTL.
I think we'll be in the studio next week.
Wait, don't go.
Wait,
don't go.
Congratulate you guys on your first out show. It was
yes, it is.
Yes, congratulations to our team, TFC Marketing.
Thank you to AJ back at the studio.
I'm like freaking out where that voice is coming from. I see no one talking.
Everybody help us through our first remote. You don't know where you're going to see Cannabis Life Radio next. We may be in your neighborhood. We are going to be supporting these advocacy organizations across the country, one conference at a time, one event at a time, one rally at a time.
Free the lead. Cannabis is coming to Florida. Join us.
CBD, and I had seen Dr. Gupta show. So I went to Colorado and I signed him up. I changed my address. I was going to move in with a friend. So that was my first step. In that journey, I met other parents that were struggling as well as I was, and we met in Tallahassee when we were advocating for medical cannabis. And that's how the group Cannamons was formed. That's how we became founders of Cannamons, because there were parents fighting for medication, for better access to our children, to have an alternative medication for them, besides all the medications that they were giving us in the hospital. My son tried everything for delay, and we didn't see any results.
Right.
So then with time, we went to California, we saw a doctor there, and we started treating our children there. I started treating Bruno he had been on CBD, and then we added THC and THCA because he was having too many seizures. And I can honestly say that for the first time, I saw one afternoon with no seizures. From 300 a day, I had one afternoon, half of the day with no seizures.
So he went from 300 seizures in a day to a single seizure or 0 seizures in a half a day period after the use of cannabis. I remember hearing you speak one time, and you mentioned there was a time when Bruno was put on Marinol. Can you tell me about that experience?
Oh my goodness! So when I came back from California, my doctor knew that Bruno was doing well with the oil. So to keep us under the safe legal form of cannabis, they put him on Marinol. So I gave him Marinol, and I will say my child doesn't speak, he doesn't communicate much, but his only way of communicating is crying, and he's not one to cry unless he's in pain or something's really bothering him.
Right.
He was crying a lot, like he was crying nonstop. I wasn't sure why, and I said it has to be Marinol because I had never seen him cry this much, and I told the doctor, he's like, okay, put his dose. And instead of putting his dose, I just replaced it with the oil. I said, I'm not, I cannot put him through this. I'm not putting any dose. I'm just taking it away from him because it was making him very uncomfortable. It would make him cry. And when I spoke to a parent, her description of someone that used Marinol scared me so much that I took him off of it right away. She told me that the patient that had used Marinol felt like he was going on a roller coaster. 100 miles per hour, going down a roller coaster really fast.
Yeah, it sounds like a horrible experience for a child where they're crying excessively and screaming based on being prescribed Marinol. And I know I heard you speak before, and you mentioned that Marinol is the THC without the CBD to kind of balance it out, and it was really a bad experience. Yeah. I appreciate you being you're so on top of what the current issues are. You're so on top of your son's care. You have a daughter as well, and you're a good mom to both of your children. So, I watch what you do. I want you to know that you're recognized. We support you. We're with you. I know you've spent a lot of the past 2 months in the hospital. And you just have to be strong and know that people are here and supporting you. And I'm happy. I'm happy to say though that at one point we had no seizures. Like with the use of cannabis, his seizures went from 1 to 3 a week, and that was a huge change for his body. Like he became more active. He's walking. Right. He's not walking on his own, but he's walking with support. He's sitting up on his own. He's actually crawling. He vocalizes by screaming. So people are aware that he's there because you can hear his mouth. You can hear his voice. And it's not words, but just his way of communicating. And he's touching everything. He's very aware of his surroundings. So that I'm happy to say that if it wasn't because of the use of cannabis, and with the help of the doctor removing most of his medication, it helped tremendously in his life. So he's only taking 2 seizure meds right now. And that has helped him, it's just 2 seizure meds and his cannabis. It's his daily intake. And it has helped him so much in his daily life that you see a different child, even when it comes to taking the medication. You see a different child. So I'm very proud to say that, thank God for cannabis because I wouldn't have seen that result if it wasn't because of his changes in meds. And he went from
right.
I've heard you say that he's gone from basically almost a vegetative state to with this hyper awareness and sensitivity to patterns and things like that. And the recliner story always stayed with me, where before he was basically non-mobile, and then it was a real victory for you when he was able to pull the lever on the recliner and push the recliner. I heard the joy in your voice when you told that story. I don't know if you want to share more on that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was able to leave him just laying on the recliner because I knew he was going to be immobile, that he was not going to be falling because he was not in danger, because he was just like a vegetable. And when time progressed, now if I leave him in the recliner with one of the chairs attached to him so he doesn't fall, but somehow he manages to move that chair like the little bumblefoot, and he pushes that lever. He just wants to pull that lever, and then the thing goes up, the recliner goes up, and then I have to be watching because he can fall. And one time I turned around for a minute, and he's reaching down, and he's like so strong now that when he reached down, he almost fell on that chair. And I had to catch him, and I'm like, you cannot leave him alone for a second.
Right.
Because he's so active right now that he explores everything. So the fact that he does that to the recliner, it's a huge step for us. The fact that if I go to the store with him and I go through the shoe section, he grabs all the shoes and just throws them on the floor.
Right. And
we're
that's such a long way from where it was.
It up. Yeah. It's like he's grabbing and touching everything. And he needed that because he didn't do that before. Before I could just leave him unattended for a second and he would just still be there like a vegetable just laying there. Now I can't do that at all. I have to be watching him. Someone has to be holding him because I can't even turn around because he will be somewhere else.
Right.
So, and he's crawling, and he couldn't do that before. So he knows what he wants now. He sees a toy, he'll crawl to that toy to get it.
That's
so it's
awesome.
a huge difference that it has made in his life. You know, and one thing that I need my attorney here because I know that in the hospitals we're not allowed to, give them medications to them when they're hospitalized. So I feel that he got worse at one point because we had him on the camera. So I didn't give him any of his oil. So I feel that he got worse, and even the doctor acknowledged it.
I understand. That's a huge issue. Even assisted living facilities, hospitals, nursing homes, where the caretakers and nurses, they won't give the cannabis oil to the patients, and their conditions worsen while they're supposed to be there to improve their state.
I feel that I'm still in the ICU because of that. So I just told the doctor, like, honestly, just, get him to the point that I can actually leave the hospital and I can work with his doctors, and just work on his oil and we'll continue with the medications that he's on. And the doctor acknowledged that too. He's like, I feel like he got worse.
Yes.
Now that we stopped the oil. So he even knows that.
Well,
so we're working on that.
Beautiful, and it's unfortunate that you have to go through that and Bruno has to go through that. But the work that you're doing, one, it encourages other moms and other families. But you're a pioneer, and you pushing back and educating the hospital staff and the hospital administration about how your child's getting worse in a hospital environment because he can't have access to the cannabis oil. That is going to make a difference long term, and I want them to change it soon so that Bruno won't have that situation if he is hospitalized where he can't get access to his medicine. So thank you, Giselle.
Yeah, no,
we appreciate you so much.
It's been a little crazy, but we're working on that.
We're going to keep pushing and keep fighting. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Giselle.
Of course. Thank you.
And see you in the trenches.
Out on the battlefield.
All
right. You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Florida Home Grow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out our organic hemp oils, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee while checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Home Grow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try an all-natural lemonade or delicious organic ice cream sandwich. Florida Home Grow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog Road and the Turnpike. We are Florida's #1 seller of hemp oil products because our stuff works. Finally, topical pain relief from hemp is available in Florida. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream uses powerful essential oils to deliver hemp's natural anti-inflammatory properties directly to the site of pain. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Extreme Cream is available exclusively at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. Extremecreamnow.com. That's Pain Blaster Extreme Cream, available at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. extremecreamnow.com.
This is Florida's most unique radio program. This is Cannabis Life Radio.
equal rights for all, everywhere. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation, all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. So many can testify, but you still can't satisfy. You keep on praying. You wish that day would come when there'll be equal rights and justice for every man. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite. What you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. And let us unite as one. Tell me what you think about justice, brother man. Oh, tell me what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation, child, child.
If you need cannabis as medicine, you need Cannabis Life Radio.
Cannabis Life Radio is live. It's on the air, along with Cheryl Murray Powell.
Yes, missing Arby.
Arby is busy.
Yes, he is. He's in graduation mode with his wonderful daughter who's graduating high school. So,
And
we're excited.
speaking of busy, our Facebook live feed is very, very busy. We're giving away Green Road's CBD lollipops, and I got a list of winners here. Are you ready for this? You ready?
Drum roll.
That calls for a response. Okay. Thank you. Brian Mitchell. You want a
You're a little
lollipop?
cranky today.
I am a little cranky now. Hush. I'm not really cranky. I'm in the best mood I've been in a long time, actually. Brian Mitchell, he won a lollipop. The person's name
Brian
here.
Mitchell, woohoo!
Exile Darkness.
Exile Darkness.
Yeah, that's actually a person's name.
You're going to get a CBD lollipop.
Yeah, Jacqueline Locke.
Jackie. I've known
Also-
Jackie for 20 years.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
nice.
worked together at T-Mobile years and years ago.
Wow, congratulations, Jackie. Also, Josh Kent, Marsha Henderson, Blake Bass, or Bass, Debbie Lay, Carlos Perez, Pam Fowler, and Karen Browner all won Green Road CBD lollipops from our Sea Life Radio
Congratulations to our winners.
Facebook feed. Yes,
Well
it's
done.
Very, very, very.
We have our marketing team's going to be reaching out to you individually so they can send them out. Some people in the feed have already received their lollipops and they're saying how yummy they are.
Right, and you could also ask questions in the Facebook live feed, and then the questions are handed to me. I put them in this. Do you know what this is that I have in my hand right here? You know what I have in my hand right here? It's Arby's mail sack. I have Arby's mail sack in my hand.
Okay.
And that's where
does it get renamed when Arby's not here?
No, it's always going to be Arby's mail sack. You cannot change the name of it. No, that's part of my contract. That's why it's called that.
Okay, no doubt.
That's the only way I would do the show is if it was called Arby's mail sack.
What questions do they have, Leon?
I got a couple of questions here. Want to do them now?
Yeah, let's do two.
All right,
one question.
One here. One question.
And then the doc.
This one is CBD legal in every state.
Okay, that's a really interesting question. So, and it's a complicated question as far as the legalization of CBD. CBD is legal. Green Road CBD is legal. So I can't speak to other brands based on who knows what their contents are, whether they're tested, et cetera, and so on. Green Road's CBD is legal. We're part of the Farm Bill.
But technically, as federally, the last time the federal government ever approached this, where they made a law, it's legal in all 50 states. It's just not legal to technically
the
to transport it across.
2014 Farm Bill is what identifies and defines what is industrial hemp and defines it as being hemp with less than 0.3%. So it's a very long, drawn out answer to the question. But yes, it's legal. There are some states that are resistant, some law enforcement departments where they've been resistant to having CBD. We've seen
because
few
it's so
struggles.
Dangerous. Yes,
we've seen some struggles in Alabama.
Let's put an end to this.
And a couple other states, but we work directly with law enforcement, so we're working to educate and make sure that it can be available in all 50 states. Currently, Green Road CBD is being sold in 44 states in 5,000 locations across the country.
Yeah. By the way, that question was from Rilla Gonzalez. Good question.
Thank you, Rilla. Thank you.
We got somebody on the phone. Correct?
We do. We have Dr. Michael McKenzie. I've spoken to him a few times over the past year or so, and he is an advocate for legalization. He's a
kind of doctor.
He's a doctor who stays in the know, and he wants to do the best thing for his patients, and definitely understands how we need to attack the opioid addiction situation. Dr. McKenzie, are you on?
Yes. Hey, Cheryl.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, Doc.
Good. Happy Sunday to everybody.
Happy Sunday. And I know you had called, like in our earlier shows, you tried to call in and we weren't taking callers at that time, but we really want to hear your views. We're Facebook friends, so I know you have a perspective on all things cannabis related. What are your thoughts on the special session? Let's start there and kind of work back to your experience.
Well, I know everybody is wanting for a special session to make the rules that were associated with the implementation of Amendment 2. However, when I look at the baseline intent of the members of the House and Senate, it worries me because as they're making the rules, which thank God it died in the legislative session, these rules had a number of poison pills in there that would have made it very difficult for doctors. For example, adopting certain things that the Mel and Betty Sembler and Calvina Faye crew wanted, which would have been completely unreasonable, to establishing like an oversight review board to look at practice patterns of people who write it. So a patient can theoretically have their recommendation invalidated if it doesn't meet the criteria of this review panel.
Yeah.
Right.
And who would make up the review panel? Is it certified physicians trained in cannabinoid therapeutics? No.
It's just another way for them to make more rules to slow this whole thing down. That's what they're doing.
Right. And so, you see, before Amendment 2 passed, those people, including physicians that were anti-Amendment 2, they were using the logic as well. If you make something an amendment, then it cannot be changed. It's there permanently, and the legislature can't do nothing about it. Why not let the legislature make the rules and make them, gradual in, as it goes along? But we've already seen what happens when you let the legislature make the rules. They're not bound by any benevolence for patients. They're there to line their own pockets with lobbyist money, whether it comes from the Drug Free America Foundation or the rehab industry, which makes a lot of money off people addicted to narcotics.
Yep.
And, and then the prison industry, for example, Corrections Corporations of America and Geo Group. These are private corporations, publicly traded, that benefit from incarceration. So I don't trust the legislature to make the rules that'll benefit the people, which is why I supported Amendment 2.
Do you trust the Department of Health?
Well, unfortunately, their only option.
Yeah.
And
do you have more confidence in the Department of Health than the legislature?
That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sad state of affairs when you trust Rick Scott's appointees more than you trust elected officials.
No, exactly. And and what's even more, disturbing is that, we have 3 physicians in the state house, and none of them have even taken the course or have even bothered to learn about cannabis therapeutics, so that they can advocate properly.
Yeah, who are they again?
Was it Julio Rodriguez?
Yes.
Pigman.
And
there's a third person.
Pigman.
Name escapes me right now.
Okay.
I know
in the opposition?
Yeah, who is it? I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Julio Rodriguez.
Went
on the floor and said that cannabis is medical marijuana is a myth.
Right.
In the
It's not
spirit of
medicine.
I heard that.
There's other physicians in town, like, for example, Dr. Barry Gordon, who's in his district, actually, who has even offered to pay for him to take the course. And none of the doctors have responded to his offer.
Yeah. I wonder why. What do you think it is?
I don't know.
How do we penetrate and get these physicians who are hesitant? How do we get them on board? What do we need? What argument do we need to persuade them?
Actually, I would say just educating them one at a time. Like I said, right now, I've given lectures to groups of physicians already. I've, interacted one-on-one with a lot of them and, try to convince them. And I'm actually giving a talk next week at the regional conference of the NMA in Memphis. The NMA is the largest national organization of black physicians, and they're having a regional conference in Memphis this Friday, and I'll be giving a talk about medical cannabis to that whole group this Friday. So
is this the first time that audience has had on their agenda a medical cannabis discussion?
Yes.
Okay. Did you promote that, or did they find you? Did you present?
I promoted it.
Oh, congratulations to you. So you said, I have a proposal idea, and you were probably the only one who wanted to present on cannabis because a lot of people are still uneducated about it, and then they accepted your submission. I congratulate you for that. That's taking the initiative.
Yeah, I started off with my local NMA chapter, the James Wilson Bridges Medical Society down here. And then when they hosted the statewide meeting, I gave my talk there for the first time. And then so now, when they give it at the regional conference. Now, what would be great would be if I was able to give it at the national NMA conference. That would be even better.
Well, we hope that you get to give it at the national conference, because when you give these speeches, what's the takeaway? What are the next steps as you see it? Is it just, all right, now they have the knowledge, they can go back and inquire on their own, or is there like a call to action?
Usually I tell the group to, go do your reading, do your research, because, my talk is not that comprehensive where it's going to cover all the bases, even though my full talk can last up to an hour and a half. The people, even if you take the 8-hour course that the state of Florida has, you still got to do much more reading on your own. And there are a few good medical textbooks about cannabis that doctors can purchase and read and get up to speed on things.
What are your favorite medical cannabis texts?
There's a book called, let me see if I have it here.
The Cannabis Handbook, is that the one?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I've seen that one. That's a great one. Dr. Joseph Rosado recommended that one as well.
Yes.
Okay.
It is very good. And also, the review articles that you find in journals, in the medical journals, are very, very good. For example, when you want to know, okay, what is the mechanism by which cannabis can serve as a immune suppressant in autoimmune disorders like Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, and things like that. You know, there are journal articles that go over all that stuff. You know, what is the mechanism by which cannabis affects cancer cells? You know, when you read the articles published by Sean McAllister or Christina Sanchez, you know, those are great articles that go into detail, in depth, on as to the mechanism of how cannabis does what it does.
Excellent. Do you see an expansion to nurse practitioners anytime soon? Because currently MDs and DOs are the only ones that can refer or recommend for cannabis after attending the training. Do you see that that'll open up to nurse practitioners?
I'm sure it will, because as with anything that occurs in medicine, you know, the mid-levels like the nurse practitioners and PAs, they usually follow afterwards. So I wouldn't be surprised if nurse practitioners get involved. But as it stands right now, there's really nobody giving the nurse practitioners any instruction on cannabis and cannabinoid therapeutics.
Yeah.
You know, although I'll speak to any group. You know, if they wanted me to give a lecture on cannabis therapeutics to nurse practitioners or PAs, whatever, I'm open to that. I have no problem with that. Because the fact of the matter is, you know, nurse practitioners are a large part of the medical community, and they are going to be encountering patients that are receiving cannabis. So I'd rather have somebody know about it versus going into a situation not knowing about it.
How long have you been recommending in your particular practice?
I took the course in 2015, actually.
Beautiful.
When it first rolled out.
Excellent.
But, you know, as you know, at that time, there was no availability of product yet, you know, for a while. So I did my reading and, you know, just research more into it. I think that what initially triggered my interest was when I was watching Sanjay Gupta's weed documentary.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
You know, because before that, I mean, even to now, our only option was Marinol. And Marinol, as you know, is very expensive, and it's a synthetic cannabinoid.
Yeah.
We were just speaking to a canna mom about Marinol and the effect on her son and how he would just cry all the time as a result of being on Marinol because there's no CBD to balance it out.
Yeah. You know, and even, you know, when the medicine, what's it called? Epidiolex is probably going to get released later on this year, you know, as FDA-approved drug. Don't expect it to be cheap.
Right.
You know?
And that's a challenge, and that's why a lot of groups are promoting home grow for cannabis as a long-term strategy because the cost of medicine puts certain communities at a disadvantage.
Exactly.
Do you have any like success stories out of your practice as far as how using cannabis as an alternative to opioids has been successful for your patients?
Well, those patients are starting to come in more, and I'm able to, for example, I had one patient who was on both like a long-acting morphine and Percocet for breakthrough pain, and, you know, I put on a regimen with both CBD and THC in there, and one good breakthrough that we had was we was able to get her off the long-acting medications, and she's just now using only the short-acting opioids for pain control.
Good.
So our next step is to try to see if we can get her off the short acting as well. You know, but again, with cannabinoid products, it is a constant trial and error, and you've got to try different strains and sometimes different dose protocols, and everybody's different. You know, just on a quick note about that, just to let you know, recently there's been some talk in the news about using cannabis extracts to help treat opioid addiction. You know,
yes,
and
we speak about it a lot on the show.
We talk about it every week.
Yep.
Yeah, our beloved Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, basically went on TV and said, using cannabis to treat opium addiction, give me a break.
Well,
what he doesn't realize is that the very concept of using cannabinoids to treat opiate addiction is not new.
Right.
In fact, the oldest journal article that talked about using cannabis extracts to treat opium addiction was by Dr. E.A. Birch in the Lancet, dated 1889.
There you go.
There you have it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I have a copy of that article.
Good.
And so it's not that far off of a concept. But again, the rehab industry, which loves to use Suboxone, Subutex, and methadone, all of which can be abused, when they're getting $20,000 per bed space in a rehab facility,
right.
They don't want to knock out their bread and butter.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Money's determining a lot.
Money.
Yeah, it's determining.
And we don't refer to him as Jeff Sessions. We refer to him as Yosemite Sam. That's what we talk about. That's what we say.
So, or General Buford Cornpone or something like that,
Yeah.
So
varmints ain't gonna get your marijuana.
Dr. McKenzie, what are you anticipating in the future for yourself as a physician? How are you going to take your pioneering strategy and cascade it throughout your profession?
I would like to get together with some other like-minded physicians and actually start doing some clinical trials.
Okay.
There you go.
We have that's a great idea, and we have we have the offer open for donation of CBD for clinical trials as well. If you have an interest in doing both CBD and the THC hybrid products.
Oh, exactly. Oh, and speaking of which, another quote poison pill that was in the legislature. And I view it as a poison pill for this reason. It was this allocation and creation of a research center at the Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa.
Yes.
Which sounds great superficially. But when you go deeper into this, you realize, first of all, none of those doctors there are trained in cannabis therapeutics.
Yeah.
Right.
All right? Beyond Marinol. Number two, none of them want to do anything with regarding cannabis because they don't want to jeopardize their federal funding.
Right.
Mixing with a Class 1 substance. So how are you going to establish something in an institution where there is no real desire or interest?
Why are you putting an appropriation out there where they don't want to do the research when there are organizations that are genuinely interested in the research? They just may not have the lobbying capabilities of other organizations.
Right. So, to me, the way they set it up to make it artificially and superficially appear good, but the real intention was to not have this program go anywhere.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't trust the legislature at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we always talk about it on the show. We say, for them, a delay is a win.
Right.
They know in the long game it's going to be overturned. What they're proposing is going to be found unconstitutional. However, for the people that have been lobbying the legislature on one side, there are lobbyists on both sides, but on the keep things status quo, a delay is a win as long as they can maintain the monopoly and keep that going. But the ones who hang in the balance are actually the patients.
Right. And you notice that none of the, your hardcore opponents who pump a lot of money into this, like your Calvina Fays, Mel Betty Sembler, or Julio Rodriguez, you'll never see any of them actually openly debate someone like Dr. Gordon or myself on the issue of cannabis because they know they can't run from the facts.
Right. They're hiding.
I love it. Well, we want to do some more work with you, Dr. McKenzie. Yeah. We thank you for your commitment to the movement and to progressing education about cannabis. So thank you so much for coming on today, and we'll definitely stay in touch with you, and we appreciate you listening to the show every week as well.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys next week.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Yes, at the SECC conference. I'll see you there.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Y'all have a good day. Y'all be blessed. Be well.
Yes.
Thank you,
the
Doctor.
same to you, Doctor.
So what do you, did everybody get mad at me because I said Jeff Sessions reminds me of Yosemite Sam?
No one, I don't think anyone was mad. I just you said we referred to him, and I was I don't remember.
I meant we as in me. Okay. How about Granny Clampett?
Understood.
From Beverly Hillbillies. Is that more appropriate?
I don't even know who that is.
You don't know who Granny Clampett is?
I don't. But definitely a lot of good things coming on. We're going to try to have a quick call with Carmela Camacho when we come back.
You want to take a break real quick? Is that what you want to do? You're in charge today, girl.
Oh, excellent. I like being
in charge. You want to take a break real quick?
I definitely want to take a break, and then we'll come back with
a phone call? Okay. Right. You are currently tuned to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.
Florida Home Grow is the state's #1 seller of hemp oil products. Stop by and check out our organic hemp oils, capsules, and pain-killing topical lotions. Enjoy a complimentary cup of fresh organic coffee while checking out our beautiful showroom. Florida Home Grow also carries unique hemp items like jewelry, soaps, clothing, and accessories. Don't forget to try an all-natural lemonade or delicious organic ice cream sandwich. Florida Home Grow is conveniently located on Lake Worth Road between Jog Road and the Turnpike. We are Florida's #1 seller of hemp oil products because our stuff works. Finally, topical pain relief from hemp is available in Florida. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Pain Blaster Extreme Cream uses powerful essential oils to deliver hemp's natural anti-inflammatory properties directly to the site of pain. Pain Blaster Extreme Cream. New Extreme Cream is available exclusively at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. Extremecreamnow.com. That's Pain Blaster Extreme Cream, available at Florida Home Grow in Lake Worth and online at extremecreamnow.com. extremecreamnow.com.
We bring you the latest cannabis news. No filter. We are Cannabis Life Radio.
Excuse me, pretty lady. Nice to meet you. My name is Jimmy Ray. Ever since you moved right around my way, my eyes been blessed by your beauty, girl. And I just wanna know, do you have a man? Shawty, for you and I have plans. Here's my number, let me know if you're interested. There's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her and I want her too. But I too much so I'm too much watch it. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. There's a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her, but me want her too. But I too much so I'm too much watch it. I'm trying to get to her, but everybody's watching. Aye. Whenever she walks by, everybody with a side. All me do is them want to get a piece of her pie. My friends them broke them neck to see where she's walking. The crew wanna know who is she talking to on a mobile phone. So I went into the market and bought a dozen Uzis. Walked up to her and said, baby, all this. Everybody eyes pop out. This a girl in my neighborhood. Everybody wants her.
Cannabis Life Radio is live on the air. Leon Hamilton here along with Cheryl Murray Powell.
Hello.
We have phone calls. We
have Carmela on the phone. Carmela's done a lot of advocacy rate work out in Colorado, and we want to hear from her and some of her experiences. Carmela?
Yes.
Carmela.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm very well, thank you. I wanted to thank your whole team just right off the bat for your dedication, working on a Sunday, doing these shows. It's great, and we are so privileged to be on.
Awesome.
We
Thanks.
appreciate you. Tell us about your experience in advocacy for, I know, patients for sure.
Yeah, so I started in 2010. I have a high-functioning autism son, and in 2010, I met Miko Perez, whose son is severely autistic, and heard her story. And from there, I kind of just started snowballing into, I became best friends with LV Musica, who is a federal patient, as I'm sure you know, in Florida. Yep. She's not in Florida now, but she won her case in Florida, so I'm sure you know.
Yeah, we hear a lot about Irv, but that's the other case that we hear about. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And then I worked on American Drug War II, which was the story of Cash Hyde, and in 2013 met Landon and Sierra Riddle. And Landon was just like such a special case to me. And I became much more involved with volunteering and working with these families that are essentially cannabis refugees, have to leave their states, their families sometimes, and just go out there and get alternative treatment because what they're trying isn't working, right?
Right.
And that's an interesting term, cannabis refugees. I don't know if I've ever heard it, but I think that's appropriate for what patients and their families have to do to get access to cannabis.
Right, and it's a lot more. It's a lot more work than people realize it is, because once you are in this and you have a child who benefits from cannabis, or a loved one, or you yourself benefit from cannabis,
yes,
it's almost like your eyes are open and now you have to do something. You have a duty to do something. So not only do you have to pay your bills and bring in your income and feed your other kids and do their school activities
Absolutely.
and take care of your critically or chronically ill kid, now you're also trying to get in front of the House of Representatives, and you're trying to educate doctors and nurses. And the strain is really, really big, is what I have noticed throughout the years, that these families just take on so much of the burden themselves, and we need to help them. So Sierra and the other Canna Moms in 2014, and then they kind of split ways, and Sierra did her thing in Colorado, and they've been doing their thing in Florida, and both just doing a great job of outreach and education and getting these stories in front of people who matter.
That's great. And that struggle that you mentioned of, the other children and the homework, and also lobbying and going to the House of Representatives. It's amazing that these moms and dads find time to do that. And it's great to have you supporting and guiding people who just enter that space.
Absolutely. It's incredible. I applaud all of the parents and families, even if it's not children. I know as time has gone on, we've seen more and more things that have opened our eyes, and always want to recognize our veterans, whether they need cannabinoid therapy for PTSD, for brain injuries, for depression, or just to get off narcotics. We stand for their right to choose for that as well. Canna Angels, that Sierra and I have formed in Florida this year, is not just for kids like Canna Moms is. It's kind of everybody that needs access that we want to bring the attention to.
Yeah.
So we just started this year. Our 501c3 application is in the mail with the check on the way to go get reviewed right now. And we're doing a big event July 1st in Destin, Florida. We're going to do a golf tournament.
Excellent.
That we're calling the Can National Open.
How can we find more information about the Canna Angels and support you? Because we're running out of time now, but I want to make sure people can get in touch with you.
You can go to cannaangels.com.
Excellent.
And it's CANNANGELS. But even if you misspell it, you'll find us.
Okay. Excellent.
Good for me.
Thank you so much. We're going to stay in touch with you, and we'll have you back on the show so we can let you speak a little bit more about your experiences. But that Canna Angels program is really essential to the support that's needed moving forward as we battle for legalization.
Thank you so much, Carmela.
Thank you, Carmela.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you again.
All right.
Bye.
Well, I made it through the entire 2 hours without smelling my armpits, so that is a major,
Victory!
Yes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Next week, we're going to have David Singer on. We're going to be broadcasting live from the SECC conference in Broward County Convention Center. So
and Arby will be back next week, so his fans, no need to worry.
Yep. We look forward to seeing you guys in person next week. Those of you who can come down to Broward County.
All right.
So we're dragging Leon south of the border.
All right. You're listening to Cannabis Life Radio, brought to you by Green Roads World.